Are you ready, kids?
Hello.
Hi, everybody. Oh my gosh, it feels like I got so excited I couldn't even talk. It feels like it's been forever. There we go.
It has, and I'm declaring it. Midnight Brain starts right now.
That is fair. That is valid. I have been doing reports all day. I have been doing studying for finals, and I'm just burnt. Burnt to
I'm very tired.
Oh, how was the flight back, Ori?
Delayed an hour.
Oh no, you're kidding.
It was delayed an hour, so that was very sad. And then that caused, because we had to take trains from the airport, because it's the stupid far airport, not one of our nice closer airports.
Oh
And
no.
it's the stupid far one in New Jersey. I don't like this airport anymore. I've never been there before. I don't like this airport.
No, you went that far. Holy shit.
Yeah, so we had to take the air train from the airport to the New Jersey station to get a train to Penn Station to get a train to not all the way home, but Huntington. And then
totally right about the midnight brain, because when you said air train, I was like, isn't that just a plane?
Oh, no.
Why are you
it's
calling
not.
it an air?
And then, so we of course were delayed an hour for the plane, right? More than an hour, actually, like an hour and a half. And so then all of the like plans we had about the trains to catch were just kaput. And then we got on the air train. The air train came finally to go to the station. And it just like sat there for a while because it decided to wait for the other train that came and like let people on. And literally because of that, because it decided to wait like an extra like minute, we missed the train from the New Jersey station to Penn Station that we had planned on getting. And thus, instead of getting a 2:10, so then we had to wait like 30 minutes for the next train there. And so instead of getting the 2:10 train out of Penn Station, we had to get the 3:06 train out of Penn Station. So it was just all just minutes. We kept missing everything.
That is horrible. Jeez.
So... yeah.
No wonder you're exhausted.
And I got up. No. I'm exhausted because I woke up at 4:30 a.m. 6 hours before 4:30 a.m. here.
Oh, gee. Wait a second. Girl, how long have you been awake for?
A very long time. But,
And you're still willing to stream? Oh my god.
I slept on the plane.
I give you a lot of credit. If you were dead on your feet tonight, I would not have blamed you. And I'm sure none of our viewers would have either.
Say hello to everybody. How
yes,
long?
No,
I did not get right on from the airport. I got home about 4 hours ago, I think, is math.
I mean, in our Discord, you did
5, maybe?
send us exactly when you got home. Let me see. I do know you sent a message about that.
Yeah, 5 hours ago. Yes, of course, joking. No, Dylan actually, when I told Dylan, I'm like, I'm home, he's like, oh, just in time for stream. And I go, no, I have, because by the time I like messaged him, we had like gotten dinner and like I took a shower because I didn't realize, stream ends when I fall asleep. Sure, no. I will probably end stream before that happens. But yeah, I messaged Dylan. I was like, I'm home. And he was like, great, just in time for stream. And I go, nah, I have 3.5 hours to edit videos before then. And then he was like, wait, I was joking. You're streaming tonight? It's like, yes, I am. Because I miss everybody, including Mars.
She goes hardcore. She goes hardcore.
I go hardcore. We can't make it more than a full week. Okay, I learned a couple things about myself on vacation, right?
Oh, do tell, please.
Active vacations are not for me if they're longer than 3 days.
Oh no!
I'm very much like, it was fun. I enjoyed myself. Okay? I don't want it to come across that I didn't actually like enjoy the trip. I did enjoy the trip. I learned a lot. I have a lot of pictures. Like I did what I wanted to do.
Maybe you could show some pictures on stream?
Yeah. Because I sent them to you.
Ah, yes.
But, you know, it was a very active trip, right? So the idea was like every morning you wake up way too fucking early and go walk outside in the cold dreariness that is, the Netherlands and Belgium, and you learn a lot. And one of the guides in particular, he was top notch, and it was very, very good, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. But it was definitely like, vacation for me is never again being forced to wake up at 7:30 in the morning to eat breakfast, to go out and do stuff by 9 a.m., and then not get to eat dinner until 7 o'clock, where dinner ends at 9 o'clock, and then you just have to go to bed. Like no, it's not. It's not my idea.
There's no time to unwind. There's no time to decompress or kind of take a breather.
Not my idea of like vacation. Because I do active. I'm calling this active vacation because the idea is like you're doing stuff every day. You're not just chillaxing.
Yeah, you're running around. You're seeing the tours. You're not like lounging by the pool every day.
And so, while I've done that with Dylan, like, they're all, like, 3-day weekends, They're, like, driving is a good portion of that time. And then the days that we're there, it's, like, quick, but then you're done, Like, you do your quick things
There's, like,
for,
this
like...
quick burst of energy, and then...
a maximum of 2 days total, because you're, like, driving for 6 hours 2 of those days. So, it's like, okay, that's 12 hours just chilling, driving. And then the rest of the time, it's like, okay, you get to do the fun stuff, but then you're done. 10 days, because that includes travel days, is 10 days, is a lot. Is a lot.
Indeed it is.
And thus I would not do it again. I would not do that again. Not for that long. I love taking, before this I would have said, I love taking 2-week vacations. However, those 2-week vacations are always to my grandmother's in North Carolina, where it is incredibly leisure of a vacation. You maybe do one thing a day, and it's not very strenuous. And then on top of that, it's not every day. Half of the time is just chilling at home and playing games and then doing whatever you want. I also learned I'm not a cruise person.
That makes a hell of a difference. Really? Not a cruise person?
So the reason, and I'm going to explain. I love boats.
Please.
Okay? I have no problem with boats. I enjoy boats. I've known a great deal of many people because in the area where Mars and I live, we're very close to the water, where lots of people own boats. I've gone on many boats. Dylan's family has a boat. I've been on their boat. I enjoy boats. There's no question about this. And I enjoyed being on the river cruise boat, right? It was a good time. I don't
know how most of these are tiny boats.
Well, I didn't get seasick, and I've been on, like, I was on an ocean liner cruise when I was like 6 because it was like a Disney cruise, right? But the point is that when you're 6, you're just sort of shoved into like the kid daycare games class, and that's fun because you're a child.
Well, you're a kid
get
and
to
you're
play
entertained.
around.
Like, this is the life.
What I didn't enjoy about being on a river cruise is the idea that it's like you're paired up with other people that you don't know at like dinner, and like you're talking to people, and I am a selective extrovert in the sense of that I want to exist around people, but I don't want to have an active conversation with just anybody for hours on end every single night.
That
breakfast,
that does
lunch,
sound
and
exhausting.
dinner, and I'm just like, please, I'm sorry. I just can't think about it anymore. After like the second day, it was like I ate dessert and I left, and I went and I sat by myself with
just like,
other people
please,
who were
nobody
speaking
talk
Norwegian,
to me. I'm
so they
begging.
didn't talk to me, and I just drew, and I was like, this is it. I need this time because oh my god, just don't. I'm not here to have a conversation.
Draw the boys for your soul. You're not here to talk. You're just here to see, experience, eat. That is it.
Yeah. And I don't like... Okay, it was fun because lunch and dinner were like 4-course meals. And so they were kind of fancy. I didn't like that it took 2 hours to eat, though. Like that's the side effect of the
I was
fancy.
about to say, why the hell would it take 2 hours to eat?
Well, because they bring out the appetizer, and then everybody eats the appetizer, and then they take it away, and then you wait and you get soup, and then you eat that, and then they take it away, and then you wait, and then they bring out the main dish, and then you eat that, and then they take it away, and then you wait.
Oh,
and then
wow,
you
that is
finally
fancy.
Get dessert. And then I ate dessert, and I didn't wait for them to take it away. I left. I went, nope, I'm done.
It was just like, I
This is
ain't
it.
waiting around for this.
You know, our table mates were very nice. They were two very nice women. However, I didn't need to talk with them every single day. You know, it's like I don't need to have such an active conversation constantly. I guess
that's valid, and I'm sure you're not the only one who felt that way, because it's like no one wants to be forced into a social situation. Like, you want to choose that. Like, yes, I am prepared to interact with people.
It seems like the people who go on these sorts of trips that I went on are vast majority widowed old women who are friends. So two widowed old women who want to, get out and meet, just interact with people, right? Like, that's what it seems like. And I am not a widowed old woman, and I have the people I want to interact with here. So that's why I'm streaming now, even though I'm tired.
What I'm hearing is next time you go on a cruise, you have to bring all of us with you.
Well,
that's how I'm understanding it.
I actually told that to Dylan. I said, Dylan, the only time we're going on a cruise if it's you, me, Mars, and like Doug. And so we get to sit at a table, just us, and so we can all shut up if we need to.
Yeah, no strangers. We can literally just eat, enjoy. I'll probably die eating a cannoli. It'll be great.
See, that's the whole, widowy.
Widowy old woman.
The two last quote-unquote highlights of the trip that were just funny. Well, one is I got sick, and then my father got sick, so that was not an enjoyable time. So... Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were the only victim.
Oh, no, so the first day that I woke up, like, healed, my father was dying.
Oh, well, now we know why you were healed. You passed it along
really,
to him.
Though, I just completely gave the illness onto him. However, he recovered one day quicker than I did, so he's good now, too. We're both essentially recovered. I'm just tired at this point. And not actually
Damn, your
sick.
family was not built for long-form vacation.
That was just like the plane was sick people, and then it's like, okay, so
really?
Actually,
why am I acting surprised?
Yeah, it's just we were locked in a metal box with a very large amount of random people from all over the world for 7 hours. Okay, the germs were gonna get around.
Spread some germs.
So then on the way back, I wore a mask the entire time. I'm talking the entire time.
Move.
I'm talking the airport in the Netherlands, all the way through the plane, through the airport
on the train
in New Jersey, on every train. I never took it off until I got home. I was like, I'm not doing this again.
Oh man,
I'm not doing this again.
And what a day for you to come back too. It is pouring where we are, and it will continue to pour for the next week.
So I didn't think about this, but apparently one of the things I missed was my shower. Out of all of the things.
Dude, that's such a mood. I don't know about any people in chat, but chime in if you've had this experience. Hotel showers suck in comparison to your own shower. You don't know how to adjust the temperature. The water pressure is always wrong. The way the water hits you is wrong. You spend a ungodly amount of time fiddling with the temperature, and by the time you actually get it correct, the next person is knocking on the door hey, you done in there? It sucks. It sucks. I have never found... Actually, that's not true. But I'll save that story for a minute later.
See, I'm usually
There's
okay.
only one shower I've enjoyed that isn't my own.
I'm okay with hotel showers. I'm not okay with cruise ship showers.
Skill issue!
That's the part, that's like the level, right? A shower in a hotel, I'm okay. But also, like, I never stayed in a hotel for, like, a very long time.
Right.
So I only have to, like, you don't have to take that many showers outside of your shower. Like, if you're only staying, like, 1 or 2 nights, like, it's not, like, 7 whole days is, like, I don't want this
That's
shower
a lot of
anymore.
showers.
It's a tiny shower. It's got, like, the removable shower head, which some people like, but I'm just not used to it. And, like, I like to listen to music in the shower, so it's, like, everybody can hear my, like, very F-word heavy pop music.
Explicit pop music.
Yeah, one of my favorite songs is "Can I Get a Witness," and that's very explicit.
Very curse heavy, yes.
Very explicit.
Birthday cake, you get it. You get it, birthday cake.
See, I less have a problem with figuring out how it works. I more am just like, I like my shower. I like my bathroom. I like
this is my
knowing
comfort shower.
how much
I know
hot
where everything
water
is.
that, like, I have at my disposal. I don't like having to... Everybody's flushing the toilet and, like, changing the water temperature. The fact that, like, it smells like river out of the drain. Like, there was, like, foam coming up out of the drain one day. It's just like, I don't want to deal with this. I'm a rather tall person, like compared. I'm not incredibly tall, but I am, like, on the taller side. And so the shower was short, and I'm just like, I don't like this.
No!
This is not happy.
The pain.
Your dorm shower is better than your home shower, Enthuse? That's, well, at least...
Okay.
The dorm shower is now your home shower now,
Exactly. Like, that's the only... Okay, that's not the other shower I was referring to that I have liked, but that's definitely one of them, because, like, you use it so much, eventually it becomes your normal shower.
Yeah, I was fine with the dorm shower. I still prefer my home shower to the shower I had at the dorm, but thankfully I didn't have to squat because I could, like, remove the shower head, but it's like now I have to physically, like, use my hand.
But now you gotta put it back on!
And, like, but I have to, like, hold it, like, I've never had that experience before. Like, I have to, I just want to stand under the hot water.
Your arm is tired, and it's a whole process. Did they have shower heads you could turn?
What you mean, birthday cake? The one in the boat was literally the one that's removable, right? So it sits on a stand and it projects outward and down, but you can take it off out of the stand and, like, hold it over yourself. But the stand was short.
I was about to ask, was it a rainfall shower or an angle shower?
I don't know the answer to this question.
Okay, so with an angle shower head, the water's coming at you on an angle. With a rainfall shower head, it's pouring, like, directly on you.
Yeah, it's an angle shower. Again,
okay.
So you think about, like, okay, when you have, like, a sink, and you can take the faucet of the sink, and then it's like a cord, so you can, like, shoot it at stuff?
Ah, yes.
Imagine that, but your shower head. And it's only that. And it's never a faucet, and it's too short for you. So you have to take it and move it so you can hold it above you.
Oh,
but now you're using a hand? I can't wash my hair with one hand. Because you're always using the wrong hand. Because I'm right-handed, right? So if I hold the shower head with my right hand, I can angle it correctly and not, like, shoot myself in the face with the water. But then I can't wash my hair with my stupid hand, right? And then if I hold it in my left hand, I'm just waving it around. And I can't angle the shower head. It was just,
It's a miserable struggle.
The two things I did, we got home and we got Wendy's and then I took a shower.
Oh, no way! I had Wendy's tonight, too!
Those are the things that I did. And then I edited Ace Attorney videos until stream.
Lovely.
Yes. But yeah, so good news is that the experience, because I went to Amsterdam and other places that were port cities, because obviously riverboat cruise, gave a lot of inspiration for Outcaste.
Oh, guys, they are gorgeous pictures.
If you say it's a skill issue dichotomy, you know, I don't really care. All my skill points are in the home shower. I didn't have any skill points.
Issue.
You know,
who knows?
I used all my skill points. Oh, that was the other thing. I had like a panic because, like, I specifically brought my sketchbook to draw. Right, I wasn't exactly sure how much free time we would necessarily have throughout each day, you know, because they never really gave you like a very specific itinerary with like times until like the day before. So I wasn't really sure how much free time we would have. But of course I'm like dead tired the first couple days. I never slept through the night, like fully. Like I woke up every night twice at least, and I always woke up at like 5 a.m. So I'm very excited for my bed. And I like was drawing, and Mars knows because I specifically like sent Mars the art like essentially the next morning for me, but that night for you guys at Eastern Standard Time. And I was having like a crisis where I was like, this all looks bad and I feel like I can't draw, and I'm like, where did the skill go? I don't know.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting here like, I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. It looks awesome.
And I like look at the images, like I look at the picture. There's one I cropped out on the one where it's Hotsun and Milano sleeping together. There's like a little Hotsun in the corner that I cropped out for you because I'm very upset with it. Oh! It's the first, like, me trying to have him drink tea, and it's just bad. It's just very bad. And I just lost my ability to do anatomy and, like, draw eyes.
It's not Hotsun, it's his doppelganger Hotsun.
Really, though, Howard, and, I was just having, like, an issue. And I'm pretty sure what happened was that I was, kind of forcing myself to draw. Like, it was always after dinner.
You were also sick.
At, like, 9. Yeah, and then I was also sick. So it's just kind of a combination, because then we had one day where I was not sick anymore, and we had like a significant amount. My father was sick, so he was sleeping, so I didn't have to talk with anybody, and because my father's very extroverted, he really likes talking with people, and so they would like seek him out, and so it was like, okay, if I want to be alone, this is the time. And I ended up drawing like a lot of pages at once, so a lot more, and I was like, oh, these are actually good. And that was the asters that you saw. I was like,
okay.
Oh, these are so good. I actually like know how to draw my characters still. Okay, I'm not having like a crisis, because I just wasn't able to do it, and I don't know why. And it was a me thing, and I think I was just tired and not feeling it necessarily, but like I made myself, because I didn't want to actually lose it. I was like, no, I can't not practice.
You know, it's so funny you mentioned that, because I had hit the craziest block with the final bit of that Soulmate AU, and it wasn't until like I had a couple days in between like tomorrow and my last day of class where I was like, I finally found inspiration again, and I was just like, this is the night I'm gonna finish it. I don't care how it sounds. I can always go back and edit it, but I just want to finish this damn fan fiction.
Just gotta write it down.
It was like, I wrote out a couple things and I was like, no, that sounds like crap. I gotta retool this. This is so bad. And then it's like, you come back to it a day later, and it's like, oh, I do have my writing ability. Don't know where the fuck it went last night, but at least it's back.
It was just like, why can't I draw? Why is Sinnett looking so stupid?
Welcome to Barnes and no!
Yeah,
where did it go?
Yeah, so that was a big issue.
Such a freaking mood.
So yeah, the sort of moral of my story is I won't be doing this again anytime soon.
I'm not sure that's a moral as much as it was a self-discovery.
Short trips for me. Yeah, the only other time I had been abroad was for tour
For that
choir.
London trip, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that was kind of a similar experience of like being very busy. But what's so funny is I don't remember.
But you also had like a shitty teacher who was making your life a living hell.
Yeah,
So
that was a whole other bit.
I don't blame you for suspecting that whole thing could have been an outlier solely because of him.
The one thing that gets me is I don't remember being jet lagged at all during the London trip. But God, did I feel it, these 2 times. So, I don't know. But I watched Strange World on the plane.
How is it?
And then I watched, so that's what I watched going there. And then the movie I watched coming back was DC like Super Pets or whatever it is. And I cried twice during that movie, which I did not expect to do. But
really?
It's just dogs, man.
Wait. I bet I know the scene. You cried on. Is it the one where he tries to save the little kid and they blame
I cried
him
about that, of course. 100%.
For the bite mark?
Yep, I cried about that a lot. But I also cried at the very beginning when they're like, Crypto, protect Superman. I was just like, I was missing my dog too.
I was
missing
early.
my dog too. I was like going through the pictures and then I ended up stumbling across like I have tons of pictures of my dog sleeping, and then like the last day was like some guy walked by with a dog that was very similar to Riley, and I was just like, pain.
Torture. Why universe?
But she was washed for me and thus she was so soft today. And she missed me, so she gets to sleep with me.
Oh. That's nice. So you just get to pick her up and bury your face in her nice soft fur.
So good. Top tier doggo.
Top tier doggo indeed.
Top tier doggo.
What a good pupper.
Indeed. The best pupper. But side good stream news. I do have 100% confirmation. I know Enthuse was asking, and I think Birthday Cake is interested. Dichotomy, everybody. And that is that, yes, we are 100% indeed starting Turnabout 4 of Justice for All on Tuesday.
Yes!
And
it is confirmed! I'm so excited!
Is available for the rest of May, so we will get her done.
Yes.
We'll do it.
We will get her done. Now, I'm going to give a warning myself. I do have summer semester starting in about 3 weeks from now, I believe. There shouldn't be a drastic change to the stream schedule,
if I
honestly.
Remember, there wasn't a problem with Tuesday, and that's the big one that I care about. It's
not too different from how it was this semester. The only thing I don't know what's happening is a lab I need to take. We still don't have a time or a day for that. I will keep you guys posted as best I can, but for now, so far, no stream schedule changes. Beautiful. So we're looking pretty good. Our 8:30, 9 o'clocks are looking pretty damn good.
Fantastic. Look at that. Look how nice. Who read the comic that came out updated on Monday?
Yes.
Monday.
You kept me busy this week, Ori.
I did.
I was like, on Monday, I'm at work. They're having me take inventory, but then I'm also like, I gotta get this stuff posted for Outcast. So I got my inventory list in one hand, my phone in the other, and I'm like trying to do it at the same time. I'm just like, shit, this isn't going to work. Well, I go on lunch in like a little bit, so I can do it then.
Well, you did it. You succeeded. Yeah, Monday's always my busy day, especially.
I can see why you say you want a secretary.
Yeah, honestly,
I only did that once, and I was like, oh my god, she does this every week. God damn.
Yeah. Oh, and more, Mars, and more, because I also have to plan all my other posts.
And more. Yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah, the social. See, it's a whole thing. There's like a lot, and it's like people, artists are always sad about like their engagement is low and it's because they're bad at art, and it's like, no, it's because you're bad at marketing, and marketing is a full-time job.
Marketing is half the battle, and let me tell you this, most people are not born marketers.
No,
it is a tough skill to learn.
I don't like marketing, but at least on the low level of marketing, you can just tell people about your thing repeatedly.
High stakes marketing,
and it'll work out. But
exactly.
Yeah, that is the goal. Extra money is going to social media manager.
One day.
Well, I'm between that and like a partial editor for the Ace Attorney videos. I have to decide. Because it's like, I don't want to not edit the Ace Attorney videos at all, right? Like, I don't want to just have somebody else fully do it, because I feel like that's some of the charm. Is whatever weird references I come up with. But
definitely.
To have someone like edit it down and like put the words in would be the easy part. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I did apply. We'll see what happens. I applied to be a YouTuber's like shorts editor, so that could be interesting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It's actually the starfish face of Castoff.
No way.
I applied. We'll see. Yeah.
Congratulations. Oh, I hope it works out.
Yeah, we'll see.
That is so exciting. Oh.
But then
amazing. Onward and upward.
I think that's all of my life things.
That's all the housekeeping on your end?
That's all the housekeeping on my end.
I see. Well, your return was brilliantly foreshadowed when you alluded to being on the plane. Because you dropped that clue, we expected to see you on stream. Look at how that worked.
Indeed.
Brilliant. Oh, wow.
Yep.
That's a lot of the team. But how many people is that, Birthday Cake? Like, how many people make up your team?
Still, even just getting to dedicate a single person to marketing is just like, ugh.
That's still a lot. You're right.
Like, seriously, social media manager would be amazing, especially for the comic.
Definitely.
I found a great BL webtoon. Mars.
Is that the one you really screenshotted cute. For me?
No, but that one's fun, and the lore just picked up on that one.
Oh, okay.
But no, the one I found was I just literally found it today because I was like reading it at an airport, and it's called like The Plain Boy and the Prince, and literally the whole goal of it is to shove every like trope into this comic, and it's really funny, but also like really cute. And I'm just like dying.
Oh, what's the name?
It's called The Plain Boy and the Prince.
The Plain Boy and the Prince. I'm looking it up right now. Holy crow, that's a lot of people, Birthday Cake. Dang.
Damn. So 25 people on marketing? I'm so curious what the marketing is for.
Wild.
What is the goal of the marketing? Like, I don't know, like, are you trying to raise money? Or is it, like, something else? Do you want to get on the news? Like I don't know what a robotics team would market for, you know?
I can't find the webtoon you were talking about, Ori.
Okay, I'll find it. I'll send it to you.
The Plain Boy?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it's called.
Like plain as in bland, or plain as in airplane?
Plain as in bland. Plain Boy and Prince. There's no those.
Oh, and Prince. Huh. I'm still not getting it.
Birthday cake. Still. Like I said, having anybody just solely dedicated to the marketing I need that in my life. Did you find it?
Still trying.
Okay, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, my search bar does not like me for some reason. It can't find it.
Could you?
I know, right?
But yeah,
Ooh,
so
but
Mars
Summer
and I
Boo
came up
updated.
with another Outcast AU.
Yes, we did. I think partly inspired by what I'm doing with a Vashwood
Yeah, it is.
AU.
It is.
Because it's kind of the same, like, server makes drinks, gives it to Crush type of setup.
Yeah, it's a cafe AU.
You gotta have your cafe
You gotta
AUs,
have.
man.
Yeah, and so I have lots of barista Milano concept art in my sketchbook.
I am so excited. I was giving Ori some very basic dialogue to go with it this past week, and oh my god, I had so much fun writing it, because the whole premise behind it is, we know the classic trope. The barista can't spell the name at all, and the other person's getting very frustrated over that. So I was taking a direction where it's like, okay, Hotson's actually like really into this guy, so he hands him a slip of paper with his name and numbers. So he takes the approach, hey, you clearly don't know how to spell my name, so here you go. And he slides the paper over, and then Milano's just like, well, gee, thanks, buddy, but your phone number's on this. You know, you should be careful of that. You don't want that kind of information getting out. And Hotson's just like, oh my god, I'm in love with an idiot.
Well, what's better enthused though, it's not just misspelling Hotson, but trying your best. It's like so. The point is that it's so far removed, and we later came up with that it's because Milano is like kind of distracted every time that Hotson comes in, so Hotson's like saying his name, and there's like times when Hotson's like spelling it out like it's H-O-A, and Milano's just like, yeah, sure.
Milano's just like, whatever you say,
like,
whatever you say.
Shit, what was his name? There
Oh
was an
crap,
H in there.
There's an overflowing.
Howard. Horace. What's his name again?
Harry. It's gotta be Harry.
Yeah. That's one of the little concepts. It's him holding the cup and like writing on it, be like, shit,
writing furiously, like I don't want to be fired. And then all the other characters have a role as well. Sinnott ends up playing Hotson's friend, who's like encouraging him, like, go on, you can do it this time, I know you can. Everett's in the other corner going, why are you still going after this guy? He's clearly dumb and not picking up on any of your vibes. Maybe he's just not into you. Then you got Ferrex in Milano's corner going, dude, you can do so much better, but between you and me, he's definitely into you. Like, how are you missing this? And then Aster is the one who's bringing Hotson a muffin every time he comes in, being like, don't worry, he doesn't shut up about you on shift. Keep trying.
He'll get there eventually, I promise.
He'll get there eventually. It'll just take some effort.
It'll just take a while.
It'll take some
this takes me back to another bar AU actually of Voltron, Keith and Lance, right?
Oh.
And and it got me thinking about, so my thinking is that like Milano owns the cafe, right? Because it's kind of like the equivalent of the boat, the Outcast. And then so he owns it, and so the dress code is like loose, right? The uniform is a loose guideline to a certain extent, right? So it's like, how does Milano wear it versus like Ferrex wear it, right? And so Milano has his like, it's like a button-down shirt, and it's like kind of unbuttoned a couple more buttons, right? And the whole like line I thought about was Milano being like, Ferrex will swear that I do this for the tips, but it's just hot working in a coffee shop, okay?
Oh, I could have visioned the line
hot.
for that. Like, yeah, Ferric says I'm doing this for the tips, but have you ever worked around coffee, man? Coffee's hot. The steam is hot. It's freaking hot.
It's just hot. And then I have like Ferrix, because Ferrix is just always, for whatever reason, the fashion-forward guy in all of these AUs.
He really is.
Seeing him
He goes
with the
hard.
going crazy with the uniform and just being like, no, this is for the tips, 100%. I just like this for the tips.
No, Ferrix falls into this is for the tips, but this is also for me because I will die if they put me in a uniform. I cannot be in a uniform, guys.
See, I don't have that problem in those, even though my name is technically spelled more commonly spelled slightly differently when it's like a woman versus a man's name. And however, specifically because when I go to Starbucks, I use like the points card that they scan, so it like uses the name on my card, which is
so you don't have to talk to them.
So I don't have to say anything. That's the secret.
Enthuse, I will tell you this. I wish I had it as easy as Ori. I don't know why my name is so damn hard to spell, but apparently it is. I have seen it have too many of a certain letter, too little of a certain letter, and one time it was spelled with an O and a U.
What?
I don't even know how that happened, and one time it was spelled with a C. I just have to assume maybe it was super loud in the place. Yeah, Moors, exactly. and
then a
don't
C
forget,
in there. Morks. Yeah, there you go.
Morse.
Morse.
I don't even know how it happened. I looked at my cup, I looked at the name on the receipt, and I was just like, all right then. Wow.
That happened.
That's impressive. That's impressive. I don't even know how that's possible, but that's impressive.
But no, Oscar, I have returned home today about almost 6 hours ago. But I have been awake for way too long. Mathematically.
Well, see, birthday cake, this is what you gotta do with the different variations of the name. See, if you're gonna do it that way, you need to be birthday cake with the C, birthday cake with the K. You gotta differentiate it by how it's spelled. I think there were people in our school that we did that with.
Yeah, but then
I'm just
everyone
trying to
ended
remember
up
the
being
specific name.
Ryan, and then we just called them by their last name.
Yeah, and then it was just a mess. Oh, geez, Enthuse. That must be fun.
Yeah, it was the big name that we had at our school was Ryan. Okay, for whatever reason, we had a ton of guys named Ryan, and so you never called anybody Ryan.
We also had one girl,
yeah,
Ryan,
you called her Ryan,
well.
but you never
She
called
was
any of
Ryan.
the guys Ryan.
None of the guys
they were
all
Ryan. Called by their last name.
Which was hysterical. I think even the teachers started doing it too.
Yeah.
Because they just gave up after a while.
I had like 4 of the Ryans in my class at once one time, and it was like the teacher. You saw the teacher like have a problem.
The teacher like sweat dropped.
Yeah, literally.
As they looked at the roster for the first time. Oh, jeez.
Oh, they're pronounced slightly differently? Wow, that's wild.
Oh, so okay, we got. What is it? Enthuse, enthuz, enthaws?
Yeah. Okay, you don't have to say yes or no, birthday cake, but my vote is that it's the name Devin and all the variations there. Because that's the one I can think about where they're like they could be pronounced slightly differently, but they're all spelled differently. And I've met a lot of Devins that are spelled differently.
Devin's an easy one to kind of manipulate and give a whole bunch of different
I've met Devon, I've met Devin, I've met Deven, I've met, all of them. So many of them.
Ashley with a CH?
Oh, yeah, I knew that. I actually know.
That's my first time.
I actually learned that someone who I knew as an Ashley had a really weird spelling of their name.
I could see the first three. That fourth one gets me. You just know that was one of the ones where the parents was like, we gotta make this different somehow. We gotta make this unique.
Yeah.
I always feel bad for kids who get that kind of spelling for their name, though.
Oh, yeah.
Because when you're first learning, we call it symbol sound association in the professional world. But like, when you look at that, like, CH makes the ch sound. So it'd be like, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
That poor kid.
Well, damn, Enthuse. No, I don't think you've told that story here.
We have not heard that story. I think I would remember that one.
Well, that's one way to do it, birthday cake.
Yeah, that's clever. Names are funny things.
That's true, Enthuse. They are. Because
they
really
are. Language is, and we all unanimously agree that English is the worst of them.
Yes, all of these are no if your name comes up as we talk about this, there's no offense to you. Most of the time, vast majority of the time, you didn't name yourself, right?
Most of the time? What are you implying here, Ori?
Well, you can change your name.
Oh, that's true.
I don't, or if you're
I thought you were
choose a
hinting
different
that
name.
there were some names you did hate.
No, the only thing I hate, and this is, I know none of you chose this, right? Because the specific reason I hate it is because that it's not chosen by the child, right? And the specific hatred is when parents name their children a first name and the middle name with all intents, all knowledge, as naming this child, that they will only ever call this child by their middle name. Okay, so I know this is none of your faults, because if you decide to go by your middle name, that's a different scenario. I know 2 people in my life that this has happened to, specifically.
Really?
And it's one of those things that just bothers me. Why did you name your kid not the name you're gonna call them? Is
this like an our town thing, or was this something you encountered in college?
This is one person that is a person I call my cousin, but is technically not related. And then this is one person from our school that was a year younger than us. But I hate it so much. The worst one is, so this person who's my cousin, his name is Charles. Nobody in his entire life has called him Charles, or anything related to Charles, any nickname of Charles, Charlie, Chuck, nothing, never. He is called Harry. Why is he called Harry? He's called Harry because his middle name is Henry, and Harry is a nickname off of Henry. And now that's a whole other can of worms to unpack with the Henry Harry thing. But why did you just name him Henry first, and then Charles second?
Yeah, then what's the point?
Why not?
Like, do you like the name or don't you?
Why didn't you just do it first? And then this other person that I knew, that was a very good friend of mine, his name is John. Nobody ever called him John. We all called him Taylor. He introduces himself as Taylor. His family calls him Taylor. His brothers call him Taylor. That's his middle name. And his parents went into it. Same with my cousin's parents. They went into it, naming them first middle name, with all intents and purposes, naming them the middle name.
That is so bizarre.
But the dichotomy is that his first name, the nickname thing is a different thing. I'm more okay with the nickname thing than the fact that, like, if his first name was like Arnold, and it wasn't him that chose it, but it was his parents that decided, no, we're gonna name him Arnold Richard, and we're always gonna call him Dick. You know, like, that's a different, like, why did you do that?
Yeah, like, we'll never refer to him by the first name. It'll always be the middle name. Because, like, then why not just make the middle name the first name?
Yeah, I agree, Enthuse. It's just, why not just end in Mars? Why not just make the first name the middle name the first name? It's not that hard. Because
okay, here's a scenario I could envision. You know how sometimes, like, mothers or fathers in law say, like, oh, you have to name your first child this. You have to name them after
Taylor. That was the Taylor
situation. So, like,
I
really don't like that. So maybe they for, like, the name they want for the middle name, and then only refer to them by the middle name, but they could still appease the in-laws by saying, no, it's their first name. You got what you wanted.
Oh, no. So that wasn't exactly it. It was just they called him Taylor because the father's name was thus also John. Because of that, you're the firstborn of the firstborn of the firstborn, etc. Is always
second,
named John.
Third, fourth.
Well, but no. See, it's not second, third, fourth because the middle name is different. See, you only add the first, the second, the third when the middle name is the same.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't know that. I thought just the first name.
Nope. I know. So I know a ton of people that have the same first name as their parent, as one of their parents. You know, it goes down the line. Different middle names. None of them are ever the second, the third. I have met one person that is the third, and it is because he has the same middle name as his father.
Interesting.
Jesus Christ, Enthuse. Good after Snoop, yeah. Snafter Noop,
after Snoop.
Snafter Noop, yeah.
Good snooping.
Good snooping.
Good
Snooping.
I'm trying to do evening, but it's not working.
Good eve Noop. That's how I did it. Good eve Noop.
Good eve Noop. I like it. Oh, we're excited to see it, PCM. You know how much I look forward to new art.
And now that I have returned, you can cash in your points.
Yes. Now that Ori has returned, guys, you can send stuff in Discord and she'll actually see it.
Oh. Cow me?
No, there is no way that's how pronounced.
Okay. No. I like where Enthuse is going. Oh, but no. Naomi. Because we talked about Naomi earlier.
It was Celtic, right? Oh, it's gotta be one of those strange sounds.
Quiva? Alright. I knew someone named Jalon, but it's spelt like Salin. But, okay. I have less...
Okay, I know... I'm trying to remember my Celtic. I know the first bit would be like Qui, but it's that
Quiva.
last part. Quiva? Is that it?
That's what Dichotomy's saying, yeah.
Right, because the H at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, it's Qui something. It's Qui something, but I wasn't sure.
No, Mars had not.
Ooh, session ended early, PCM. I hope it ended well.
Look at that. You get to join back our re-debut stream.
We had a heck of a session last night.
No, you're not allowed to talk about it.
We're not?
No.
You don't want to hear about how one of
our
players
hear about all the
accidentally...
things I missed. No.
You don't want to hear how he accidentally poisoned himself and then killed himself on a medicine check?
Who did?
Bell, the berserker.
Not
Not Dylan and not the other person who was the DM.
Well, he's
and
the
not
DM,
me.
so no.
Yeah. So basically what happened, I'm going to share this because I thought it was the most hilarious thing to happen from last night. Although many hilarious things were happening. We were just rolling like absolute shit last night. All of us.
Okay, you got all your bad luck out then. We'll live the next
That is
time.
how I am looking at it. But basically what happened, we survived a battle. Dylan's on 1 HP. Our other player is on 1 HP. And I'm on, I think, like 24 chasing this goblin around the damn room because he keeps running away from me. And I'm a melee guy, so I have to be like up close and personal. Eventually, the goblin does go down. And our player is like, oh, okay, I want to do a medicine check on myself to heal myself. And he got a critical failure on the medicine check. So there was talk about like, wait, what happens now? It's like you have to roll and see how much damage you did to yourself. And he's like, I have 1 HP. I'm going to die. He had to roll an 8-sided die. He rolled a perfect 8. The only perfect 8 of the night. And he was like, yeah, I go down.
How is this funny art?
What?
PCM said they posted funny Noop art, but this just looks like sad Noop art.
I didn't see funny Noop art. I want to see funny Noop art.
Chibi sad Noop.
Aww.
Yeah, see? Sad.
Crying. I do like the water effects around her, though. Those are very nice.
But this is sad Noop art.
But then to make it even funnier, Dylan's character, Garado, as soon as he goes down, he's like, I uncork a potion and make him drink it. So it's like, he tries to heal himself, goes down, and then just gets a potion shoved in his face and pops right back up. I'm just like, okay, that created the funniest mental image in my head. I'm like, I am dying. It took me a while to pull myself together after that one.
I'm trying to see if there's any specific pictures I would want to show.
The tulip fields were quite lovely.
Yeah? Alright, we'll do that.
I'm not sure if you want to show off the Outcast inspiration areas because they might see them eventually.
Oh no, of course not. Just the real pictures. So these are fields of tulips.
Oh, so pretty.
All of this is just tulips and daffodils and hyacinths, but mostly tulips. Just fields and fields of tulips.
Oh, so gorgeous.
Very crazy.
I'll always be
Tons
enamored
of
by that.
rose. Yeah, lots of typing, PCM. I feel that when I write our thing. This is
Okay, so you were inside somewhere because I can see your reflection.
Yeah, so this
in
is
that
a
one
bus.
shot.
This is a bus taking, because these fields you can't walk through. These are like the commercial fields.
Oh, that's why it looks like a road. Okay.
Yeah, and then this is actually in the gardens that are like actually the place where you like walk around in. So this here.
Oh, okay.
And that's it.
That is so cool. You can't do your dramatic pauses, PCM. I mean, it just takes a little finesse. You can do a dramatic pause in writing. You know, hit the enter key multiple times, put a lot of breaks in, and then come in with your gut punch. That's how you do it.
That's how you do it on Discord?
That's how you do it in Discord. That's how you do it in fanfiction. That's standard practice. Come on. It's half the content. Oh no. Are you
those
trying
dramatic
to kill us
pauses.
with suspense?
Oh yes, that's PCM's forte. Don't you recall?
I mean,
It's been so long, I guess.
do
You
recall, but
forget.
it really has been so long. What a time.
It has been too long. Yeah, I'm sorry that the days just don't coincide well anymore, PCM. It was just better so that we could have our third voice.
Yes. We need our third voice. We need our Edgeworth.
We need our Edgeworth. We need our cowboy. Our
friends
gumshoe,
our
you
gumshoe.
know. He's just so many
Can't forget
important
Gumshoe.
people.
Exactly. It wouldn't be the
I
same
know,
without him.
PCM. My brain, you know, out of all of the streams, the easiest stream for me is Comic Corner stream, no matter what. That's just like
Really?
the least effort on my part. Yeah, because it's just talking about stuff, you know, that like we already know, that we already discuss anyway, and I'm just sort of drawing things that I already drew, you know. My brain doesn't have to work very well. You love his Marshall voice?
You got then tonight.
Make sure to tell him that he lives for praise.
Let him know in the Discord. He'll definitely see it.
But yeah, and then I'm trying to think of which is more effort. The one that takes the most like planning is definitely the D&D streams, because that's like I write out the last session. I come up with like a game that I actually have to like actively play, essentially, right? Like whatever I'm doing on the stream, I actually have to do it. Oh, goodbye, Scarecrow. Glad you could hang out for a little, though.
Yes. Always good to see you.
Oh, much needed venting.
Oh. Venting is always
Oh, good night as well, birthday cake. Thanks for hanging out.
Good night, birthday cake. We'll see you soon, hopefully.
And then, oh, I will sleep very well. I have no
I don't
plans.
think you need to tell her twice, guys.
I have no plans to wake up at any specific time tomorrow.
Oh, jeez.
Never sleep again.
I'll
if
make
you
sure
want,
you wake
if
up
you want
to a
comic,
good,
I need to sleep
part.
again. That's something.
Yeah, see, that's the funny thing about being an artist of any kind. You unfortunately need sleep in order to do anything.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's
Hey,
required.
Lakitu.
Hello, Lakitu.
Glad you could tune in. We're for the moment, we're honestly just kind of chilling.
We're
and
mostly
chatting.
just chilling. Life
might
is
talk
just
about
chilling.
foreshadowing.
If anybody
we
has
run
questions,
If we run out chilling
you
topic.
know, as well. If anybody wants to ask questions, we're always open for questions on.
Oh
Comic
yeah,
Corner.
questions about the comic, questions about the writing or art process.
We're just
questions
vibing.
about writing and art in general. Yeah, I'm
a
not going
tired
too
artist.
hard. I might talk a little bit about foreshadowing, guys. I feel like I've kind of talked about it a little bit on here before, so I'm trying to like as we're chit chatting, I'm trying to think like what new angle can I approach this from. But I also don't want to rely on Ori to ask me questions because I know she's exhausted.
I'm very tired today. I literally sort of picked the topic as like a I don't have to interact if I don't have the ability.
You know a bit about foreshadowing, like how it's best to disguise it as something else like comedy. That's very interesting, Lakitu. It's definitely, so that's a very specific type of foreshadowing. It's kind of like when a throwaway, can't talk. When a throwaway line, there we go, kind of comes back as a big thing later on. Not really a case of foreshadowing, but admittedly, it was the first example I could think of. if anybody's seen the movie Hot Fuzz, there's a moment where they're doing crossword puzzles, and it's just these like little quips and lines that honestly are just part of like everyday conversation. But then later on in the climax of the movie, they actually come back in the fighting scene as badass one-liners. Not exactly an example of foreshadowing per se, but definitely an example of this was set up and now it's back to make the scene a little bit more epic. I think that's actually a very clever way of doing it, Lakitu, because when you do it that way, you kind of almost insert a twist into the mix, right? Because if you're setting it up to be originally comedy or a throwaway, the audience is going to react to that a certain way. It's going to be more of a lighthearted moment. But then when it comes back later on, it's like, oh man, this line or this clue just got recontextualized by what has just occurred. And it kind of changes your perception on everything. Like maybe now you read it a little bit differently. Maybe now you think about it in a different way. I can't think of an instance in particular in Outcaste where the foreshadowing is comedy per se. Honestly, with Outcaste, when it comes to the writing, any foreshadowing is kind of kept mostly as just straight up everyday dialogue, like just an exchange of back and forth. There might be an instance, but I can't recall off the top of my head. But that's typically the approach I've been taking with this particular comic. Now, there are definitely other cases in writing in general where I've done the comedic approach, and it can be used to very great effect. I'm actually very glad you brought that up. That was a good way to start off this topic.
I think we have one thing that could be considered comedic to some people. That is a reoccurring sort of thing that we have that I guess is foreshadowing. But that's what's interesting about sort of visual media, I think, compared to solely written, is that, and this is why I enjoy watching like the cartoon, like the Round Table, right? And like the people who like dissect cartoons
and
like Gravity Falls, like Steven Universe, right? Yeah, thank you, cartoon theorists. And just sort of like, because a lot of their work ends up being visuals, and that's something very that like Gravity Falls sort of like hit the ground running on and sort of pushed all these shows to do it. But you can also see it in Adventure Time before that. And
the first example, well, not the first, but the new example that just popped into my mind is the Cookie Cat song from Steven Universe.
Mm-hmm.
I remember so many people, like, that was literally the first episode, and it's the plot of the entire show, the Cookie Cat ice cream song.
Oh, yeah.
I have seen so many YouTubers comment
on
it.
Lakitu's talking about the first episode of Gravity Falls, right? And
that's a good one.
There. Wow. So, it's all these sort of like levels, but what's interesting is the visuals, right? Is all those stuff that, because when you watch the theorist channels on YouTube, right, they're really nitpicking the visuals, because that's where the artists get to have their fun, right? Versus the writers, is they get to put those little sort of things in the background. You get to put those little sort of like in Gravity Falls, how Benjamin Blandon has to go back in time and clean up all the anomalies. Like, you can see all the like little things at the beginning in those places, and it's very neat. But it's the idea of that is very subtle sort of things, and they're not being drawn attention to. And that's something we do a lot in the comic as well. There's a mixture of just how the characters speak being foreshadowing, and lots of visuals that are foreshadowing.
Background details going on that a keen eye will pay attention to.
So it's something that I hope that when the big quote-unquote reveal that we have happens, that, you know, you'll go back and reread and find those little moments, right? A very good example I enjoy is when you watch, and I think this is a subtle one, and people might not like it as much, but when you watch the movie Frozen, and you watch the song Love is an Open Door, after knowing that Hans is evil, right? That he was ready to kill Anna and Elsa and everything like that. You watch his facial expressions during that song, and it is just a whole new sort of like, wow, he is just putting up with this. He doesn't want to do this. You know, the perfect line.
Grimaces, eye rolls.
Exactly. The perfect line is when he's like, we finish each other, and Anna goes, sandwiches, and he goes, that's what I was gonna say. And you watch his face, and he's like, ugh, this shit. How do I put, like he's like, really not having a good time, and you can see
subtle,
that.
But it's there.
It's subtle, but the other thing is that you're not looking for that in the first place. You're having a good time with the song. You're just vibing around. You're not looking for it. I specifically, after seeing his twist, was like, I didn't see that coming, right? So was that, to me, a mark of a good sort of, you know, reveal like that is the fact that there is foreshadowing to it, right? Whether you picked up on it or not in the moment, you know, is that sort of like hidden thing. But the idea that I could go back, rewatch Frozen from the beginning, looking for Hans, right? Looking at Hans and how he interacts and the choices he makes, and being like, I see why you did that. I see, you know, the sort of machinations behind, you know, this whole deal.
And what's great about that is now the media has some rewatch value. Because without that, like, little hint, because like you said, Ori, for you, the twist of Hans being the villain came out of nowhere. You were like, whoa, where was the build up to this? So you went back, and then you were able to find that detail that kind of connected the dots.
Exactly. I wish I could have seen Frozen on Broadway Enthuse. I had tickets, and then COVID happened, and then they didn't bring it back, and I was really sad.
That is so cruel.
But yeah, when he does that, Lakitu, when he's like, you know, deciding to be the one to go out and confront her, right? You know, all this sort of stuff. It looking back, it's very obvious, I guess. Not necessarily, but you know, it's very like present, and that's sort of, I think the mark is that where less analytic people might miss it, but the people who are, you know, really trying to uncover stuff could predict it, and that when you go back, you realize those things. You know, it has this sort of rewatch value. That's something why I love, you know, the indie animation No Evil so much, is because her whole
so much in there.
Her whole point, when you hear the creator Betsy Lee talk about it, is for rewatch value. So she purposefully leaves things a little vague throughout the whole thing, because the point is to go back and rewatch it. And I rewatched it multiple times before I finally am in a position where it's like, okay, I understand what's going on. And of course, yeah.
Oh no, I didn't want to interrupt. I heard the pause. I thought you were done, but continue, please.
It's just sort of like, of course, you can enjoy it before that, and you can understand it to the certain extent needed. But going back and like rewatching and re-understanding like Amarok's motivations after his whole backstory and
his reveal.
Yeah, exactly. And all this sort of stuff is very like, oh, and like how he and Kitty interact, and like it's all very nice stuff.
It was funny that you mentioned like
I'll have to
that
do that
no
next.
evil leaves things vague on purpose, because it's certainly not the only media to do so. I'd say that's actually a pretty common practice, because if you don't have some kind of discovery along the way, you don't have really a story to tell, because if there's nothing to discover, what's there for the characters to discover? But the reason you reminded me of it is over the past week, I actually watched some Studio Ghibli movies with my parents. And what were we watching? We were watching Nausicaa in the Valley of the Wind, and then we also watched Castle in the Sky. And those are very much stories that do not lay everything out for you right away. Like they start out, they put you in this new world. They give you the bare bones of what's going on, so you're able to kind of surmise and put together like, okay, this is how they survive, this is how they interact with this world. But you're still kind of left wondering, well, what happened to this world? What caused it to be the way it is? Why are these people acting the way they do? And throughout the entire beginning of the movie, my parents kept asking those kinds of questions. And at one point, I was just like, the characters don't know the answer to that yet. So we don't know the answer to that yet. Mm-hmm. We kind of have to discover along with the character, because their discovery is our discovery. There are just some things we're not supposed to know yet in terms of the plot. It just made me laugh, because at one point I like threw up my hands in the air and I was like, boy, you guys really do not like to learn
My
anything,
mother
do
does
you?
That all the time. Who's this guy? What's that guy? What's he doing? Why is this? What's that? I don't fucking know. Watch that damn movie.
I think the assumption here is I have seen the movies before, and it's Studio Ghibli, so they know there's kind of like there's definitely Japanese inspiration. So what they're asking is like, oh, is that character like related to this idea? Is that related to this idea? And I'm like, possibly, but in the context of the story, it's something else. Just watch and you will get your answer, I promise.
The only time I point things out is specifically with Dylan, when it's character faces. So Dylan is kind of with faces sometimes, and so if you're supposed to like know that these are the same characters but they like changed outfits or like kind of hidden, it's like, Dylan, you know that's the same character, right? Like, that's the only thing I do, because you're supposed to know, you know, it's not supposed to be like a secret, like Palpatine and the Senator, right? Like, you're supposed to know, you know, after a certain point that these are the same people, and if you can't tell, then, you know, you sort of lose a little bit of it. But besides that, yeah, my mom loves to ask questions, whether I've seen the movie or not, and it's just like watch the movie and you'll know the answer, because it's always like Marvel movies, right? And it's like,
oh, that's a big one.
It's like the context is in the movie.
I had to answer during Spider-Man No Way Home. Now, I will say this. The way Marvel movies are currently being produced, they do occasionally require you to watch preceding material that you probably didn't have any interest in.
Well, that's a different story.
For example, you needed to watch WandaVision in order to understand Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. So if they have questions there to who characters are, I completely get it. But I don't want a movie to feel like homework either. But that's another tangent for another day.
That's a different scenario. And honestly, you can watch Doctor Strange, you know, Multiverse of Madness without watching WandaVision, as long as you understand the premise of WandaVision.
You still get the gist, as long as you understand, because the biggest problem for my mom is she didn't understand why Wanda was evil now. Yeah. Because the last time she saw her was in Endgame fighting Thanos. And, you know, if you're fighting Thanos, you're on the good guy's side. So why is she acting like a villain here? Why is she being so creepy and scary? And it's like, there was this whole side thing where she was in a hallucination. I don't even know, because I didn't bother to watch it.
I wasn't interested.
I really didn't care at all.
I have not watched any of the Marvel
as the studio requires me to do homework to understand their movies, I'm like, nope, I'm out.
See,
I'm
I
willing
love
to
Doctor
learn
Strange
things,
Multiverse of
but that's
Madness,
annoying.
but just sort of in like I liked Doctor Strange, and I
For me,
liked
it
the
was
whole
more
story. I just
Rule of
accepted.
cool outweighs
Yeah,
everything
exactly.
else.
I just sort of accepted she was evil now. I understand it had something to do with lost love.
Like, if you want to make her
created-
crawl through glass like the twisted, long-haired Japanese ghost, please be my guest. Like, I'm all for that shit.
Yeah.
If you want to give Doctor Strange a zombie cloak, please, I am here for that shit.
You wanna pull off how incredibly overpowered she is actually officially now, finally. You know, like, okay.
Yeah, like, thanks,
can-
it's about time.
We can have this.
It's like, it was good. But, in the case of foreshadowing, because, you know, in terms of Marvel, and I'm wondering if this counts as foreshadowing, but I don't think so. Foreshadowing and setup definitely have a lot of crossover, but foreshadowing is kind of more like you're laying clues that something is going to change or happen.
Or is yet to be known.
Yes, yet to be known as well. And I'm wondering if the entire series WandaVision could technically fall into that, but I don't think so. Because it's not so much foreshadowing as much as it is a big neon sign saying, hey, she's nuts now. She's gonna be evil in the future. I feel like foreshadowing is a bit more subtle than that. Like, setup, I feel, is explicit, and then foreshadowing is more subtle than that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think my biggest thing is sort of what gets me are certain things where, yeah, you have rule of cool and stuff, and I'm pretty lenient if the rest of it is really cool, or I like a particular character a lot, you know. I'm fairly lenient in my criticism in certain cases. But a big one is in Castlevania Season 3, Trevor Belmont sacrifices himself. You know, he thinks he's going to sacrifice himself, and he doesn't end up dying. And Dylan's very upset about this because he feels like the essentially like mulligan thing that occurred was not foreshadowed well enough to be like an expectation of the audience. Right, so it feels like it was ripped away, this big, you know, undertaking that you know, Trevor did, and he thought he was doing, right? And to me, that's the most important, is feeling like the character thinks they're actually sacrificing themselves, whether they do end up or not. You know, that's why I still like the Gravity Falls one, even though Stan Pines gets his memory back, is because everybody thought he wasn't going to. You know, like they went into that. Stan went into that. It felt
real to the characters, so it feels real to the audience.
Exactly.
If the characters are able to treat it seriously, then if you've done your job right, those feelings translate to the audience.
But I'm curious what you think about those sort of things. Does the lack of foreshadowing of a thing that's not necessarily a twist, but just sort of like a mulligan, I guess, sort of thing, you know, like a MacGuffin item, right? Does that sort of ruin it, I guess?
You know, it's definitely so foreshadowing is definitely a personal favorite of mine, because I personally enjoy finding the clues in a narrative and then seeing how it all ends up, how it all comes together later on. Even if I don't know what it's all building up to, it's still very satisfying to me to see it all amount to something, and even go back to say, oh shit, that's why that was in that scene. That's why that character said that. Oh my god, like, Ori, you have seen me say that a million times when I've shown you anime that I've previously watched. Like, I will literally sit on your couch and just be like, shit, I didn't notice that before. Like, every time. However, is it ruined when you don't have the foreshadowing? I don't think it's outright ruined. But we do also have something called suspension of disbelief. And I do find personally that it's easier to sell an audience on an idea if you've alluded to the fact, whether they've picked up on it or not, that this idea is possible, that this idea can happen in this reality, in this world that you created, that it doesn't just appear out of nowhere. I mean, it certainly can. And there's many pieces of media that have done it and come out just fine, even without the foreshadowing. But I also feel like you're kind of assuming your audience is on board for what you're trying to convince them of. And I feel like that's a much bigger ask, because I'm trying to think of an example. I'm like desperately thinking of an example. And I remember my coworker saying something about Boruto where it's like, and correct me if I'm wrong, like this was a very brief conversation, but the way I remember it, it's like there are aliens in Naruto now, and they're responsible for like the ninjutsu powers. And I am not involved in Naruto. I have never really watched the series. I've never gotten super into it. But even in what little knowledge I do have of the series, I don't recall there ever being allusions to aliens. I couldn't remember what it was called in Theus. You can tell how much of a Naruto aficionado I am here. If you have the official name, please share it. Like, I'd love to have the correct information. But, like, that's a huge ask. Like, you have this very long series, very popular series that ran for a very long time with this specific idea of how these powers worked. And now in this new series, you're telling them, okay, this is what's really going on. And it's kind of like, where the hell did this come from? At least that's how my coworker explained it to me. Again, please fill me in if I am missing something here. If I am leaving out a detail, I would love to know. Again, this is very basic.
I can't help. I did Naruto. Technically didn't finish it. And
this is like the only example coming to mind at the moment. I'll see if I can think of something that I'm a bit familiar with so I can explain it a little bit better. Oh wow, that is lightning.
Oh yeah. Damn. I took a shower and it was like thundering and I was like, ooh, okay.
It was thundering earlier, but now we got like flash lightning. Damn. Ooh, that's a big one. Okay. Oh, if I hear a kitty scratching at my door, I'll know.
All this here. I'm gonna come out with a secret. Okay, this entire foreshadowing comic corner, right, is specifically to tell you, look for foreshadowing in the comic. Okay, do it. I want to hear your theories. I want to know what you guys are thinking. We have a little comment section for that in the Discord. If you have any theories at all.
You can propose theories to us, and we'll tell you what we were thinking.
Well,
sort of.
Only if they've come to pass already. Only if they've come to pass. We ain't gonna spoil nothing, okay? It's very important.
We want people to read the series.
I'll mute Mars. No, I don't think she'll spoil anything.
Hey, I care about the series as much as you do. I'm not gonna spoil anything.
I'm messing.
Lakatu here says, the key I think would be to show the effect before the cause. Think of a discovery ahead of time and come up with what would happen because of it. Yeah, that's definitely the idea there. because you want to show the audience, like, hey, here's the clues referencing that this idea can exist, and then later on, oh look, that idea exists, and we know it has the potential to exist because we saw the clues leading up to it. So it kind of all comes together, hopefully very neatly. But I'm still trying to think of an example where it popped out of nowhere. God, why can't I think of an example?
Well, I have an interesting example. And
okay.
It sort of comes out of nowhere in a sense. At least in my memory. In the first Knives Out movie, the whole reveal that happens is that the nurse character, who's the main character we're following this whole time, actually didn't give the guy who died the wrong medicine, because she's such a good nurse that she felt the difference between the weights of the bottles, of the liquids in the bottles, didn't read the labels, and ended up giving him the right medicine, but then because she gave him the right medicine, made him think that it was poison. Yeah, even though everything was swapped, right? She did it right because they screwed it up and everything like that. And that's the reveal.
Yeah.
Now, in my recollection,
the reveal was basically like he did not need to
kill himself,
unalive himself.
We're not on YouTube. I think we're okay.
We are on YouTube, though.
Oh, you're right. We're not monetized yet, so
that's
I'm not
true.
particularly worried. I censor the videos. I feel like that's what they look at more. I don't think there's like a bot on YouTube, but for the streams yet. But not for when we're this small. But
fair.
The whole point that I was trying to get to is that, to my recollection, that sort of thing happening, her being able to tell the difference in the liquids, doesn't come up until essentially Benoit Blanc is like, hey, tell the difference, yes you can, look, haha, reveal, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like,
and it's like right at the tail end of the movie.
Exactly. However, I don't think that came out of nowhere or caused suspension of disbelief, but I think it's solely because the movie, the mystery, is set in the real world. So the real world rules apply. So I, as a person who takes different kinds of medicine, can relate to shaking the bottle to hear what pills are inside over looking at the labels, right? So I can, like, comprehend the idea that someone as practiced as this woman can do that, right? Can feel the difference in the medicines.
So I think that particular reveal, honestly, suspension of disbelief is not too difficult with that one, because even outside of like your personal experience of shaking pill bottles, the movie has shown that she has been with this man a long time, being his caretaker, so she is well versed in the medicines. Like, she has given him the proper dose many, many times before, so it's not a stretch to assume that she would be incredibly familiar with these different liquids by the time the movie starts. And like you said, she's also a practiced nurse. She's very good at her job, and that is a line that the detective outright tells her: you are a good nurse. So it reaffirms everything we've seen since the start of the movie. I actually saw that movie as well, and I remember when that reveal came, because it wasn't so much a twist, it was more of a reveal. When it happened, I was just like, I remember feeling impressed, because the storytelling in Knives Out was just so tight. And for a mystery, that is what you want. You want everything to be as neatly wrapped as you can possibly make it. So all red herrings are tied up, all loose ends are tied up, and everything eventually gets an explanation, because you want the mystery to be solved. That's where the satisfaction of viewership comes from. So yeah, when that reveal came, I remember feeling very impressed, and I was like, yeah, no, that makes sense. And it also adds to the story because now it's not just a mystery, it's a tragedy. This old man did not have to kill himself because it was the correct dose in the first place. It was just an accident at the end of the day, and that's what made it all the more like kind of heartbreaking. Damn,
So
that
say
movie
yes,
is
PCM, we
such
summoned
a
you.
good example of laying the clues. Most mysteries are. Honestly, if you're a mystery that doesn't lay the clues very well, you're probably a terrible mystery.
Exactly. Good mysteries do the foreshadowing very well.
Good mysteries are built on foreshadowing. And the best way, one of the best ways
that's
of
a
doing
tragedy, PCM, get it right.
Yeah, that's a tragedy. One of the best ways of doing foreshadowing. And certainly not every piece of media has to do this. Ori has mentioned Adventure Time, and I don't know if it applies to Gravity Falls, but I'll lump it in with there as well. Adventure Time did not start off with a full plan in place for where the story was going, and yet they were still able to kind of eventually lay some groundwork and get some theories going. When it comes to my writing personally, I do find having the end goal in mind, like having that reveal or whatever you're building to, know exactly what it is or have some idea of what it is, and then work your way backwards. Start thinking, well, how are they eventually going to discover this? What clues can I lay in relation to this? Where can I put a line that's going to allude to this thing's existence in an earlier chapter? Because once you have a destination in mind, then you can start laying the path to get there, you know? I find it's more challenging if you try laying clues early and you don't know what you're setting up, because how do you know what the clues are if you don't know what's at the end of them? How can you lay proper clues if you don't know what you're building up to? It's kind of like you're trying to make something out of nothing, you know? And that is particularly challenging.
That's why I think Adventure Time and Gravity Falls are two very different shows in there. Yes, I have seen that show, Lakitu.
I have not. I have heard the discourse in the community, though, and man, it's fun to grab the popcorn and watch.
It got kind of a little...
The ending discourse, holy crap.
Yeah.
Talk about a minefield.
At the end, it definitely was like, I'm just kind of here for the ride, and I'm not really thinking about it very hard. I do recall, I was here for Star Coast, so I wasn't gonna lie that, that fueled me. But
I wonder if Star is a case of biting off more than you could chew. Because I have not seen it myself.
There's something that talked about, like,
based on what I've heard,
a seasons issue. And that's what I really wanted to talk about very specifically real quick was
for it.
The Gravity Falls versus Adventure Time sort of thing. And I think it's very important to show the difference. As you said, Adventure Time didn't start out with any lore at all. That was not the intent of the show. They just did whatever. And what actually happened was that the fans loved the show so much, they came up with their own theories, and the writers were like, damn, that's good, Patrick, write that down. And wrote that down, and then started making the show towards that, and then sort of, springboarding off of that. And Adventure Time has a lot of seasons. Adventure Time has 10 seasons, right? So they sort of had the ability to play whatever game they needed, right? To make these theories work, to do whatever, to have whatever crackpot theories anybody came up with come to fruition, because they had that time to build it up in the end. Versus Gravity Falls, I don't know what the network or anything is, but to my understanding, Alex Hirsch specifically was 2 seasons is it, right? And that's why I think it's hard to compare a lot of other shows to Gravity Falls.
Definitely
Because
when
Alex
you're
Hirsch-
given that time limit.
Well, he wasn't
You
given a
gotta
time
figure
limit.
out your
Alex
story
Hirsch
quicker.
went, I don't want this to be a Simpsons that goes forever. A Rick and Morty that is just going on forever, right? The idea that he was like, I have these 2 seasons in mind. This is what's going to happen with them. And thus made every single sort of episode important in that fact, right? There was never really a true full-on filler episode, right? And so having that very, very concrete sort of beginning and end and being able to bring the show to that, I think really gave Gravity Falls this advantage over, unfortunate things like the Owl House that get canceled, or, Steven Universe that sort of had weird timing with more and less seasons and whatever, and the after one, right? When you don't really know what you're gonna get for your show, right? How much time you're gonna get, it gets kind of tough to do that, to plan ahead, because, my understanding is that the creator of Owl House had an end goal, but they were told, no, you can't take that long,
Yeah.
It wasn't like I'm just gonna run until you cancel me. It was a no, I want to get here, but I needed 4 seasons for that, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And
They definitely got railroaded.
while they did a very good job, I think in the end, I was very happy with how the Owl House ended. It definitely, was some certain things that, had to be rushed just by the nature of it, of the sort of corporate side of everything, right? So that's an interesting benefit we have, like, that comic creator I mentioned before, the Starfish Face, who writes this comic that has very much inspired me, Cast Off. She's been working on Cast Off for like 10 years. Betsy Lee has been working on No Evil for 10 years. Or maybe it's 7 for Cast Off. But, a long time. Above 5 years. Right. That is not something that is allowed outside of the sort of indie, self-made, self-publishing sort of, things.
Oh, yeah.
Mars and I can make this story as long as we need it to be, right? While we have a plan of an end, if that end ends up being 5 years from now, or 7 years from now, or 3 years from now,
It is within our control.
Yeah, exactly. We have the ability to say, we want to add this scene, really important to me, or whatever, or we don't really need that. We can completely and utterly choose, and that is definitely sort of the major benefit to doing that. Yeah, exactly. It is a very freeing sort of feeling, but it's also, on the other hand, a very weighty feeling in the sense of, I need to put in all this, like, it's all my effort, right? It's all Mars's effort. We are the only ones we can rely on to do it, right? And it's one of those very interesting things, and this is sort of getting a little further off topic than even before, but the idea of, like, I don't know if I'd want to be paid or, make someone pay, buy, like, Webtoon or something like that, like a corporate, sort of entity for the comic. It's like, yeah, it's hard. You gotta do it on your own, but, like, I don't want to have to worry about dealing with anybody else besides Mars. I don't want to have to think about it,
No corporate people, please.
Well, yeah, definitely. Mars and I discussed. It's like, no Webtoon, thank you. We're on Webtoon, but that's so people can read it. We got another person on top us, and they left comments, and they said Milana was their favorite. So, I'm over here having a good time. because Milano's my favorite. Don't tell everybody else. But yeah.
I'm so glad they like Milano.
I love Milano. Milano's my boy. I love everybody. I have drawn a lot more Ferrex recently. He's definitely in the top 3 area. I feel like we'll get more Averett when I'm forced to draw Averett. I'm just not like comfortable with him yet, you know? But because like the major 3 are sort of, that's what all the songs. I think Ferrex is your favorite. That was Johnum's favorite.
Yeah.
Favoritism is encouraged. He is very quirky.
Oh,
He's
Ferrex
a fun
is
guy.
incredibly quirky.
I'm working on his hangout right now. So
Oh, looks like Hudson says something he shouldn't have.
yeah, Hudson says a lot of things he shouldn't
Whoops
have.
the daisies.
What could it have possibly been?
He
Anything.
picked a whole bouquet of whoopsie
A
daisies.
Nuke moment, yeah. Hudson has a lot of those moments. Him and Noop would probably be awkward friends.
Oh yeah. Man, that's a good expression, Ori.
Ah, thank you. The expressions in this like specific entry are nuts. We got this one. We got I love. We have angry Hudson. We have more angry and like taunting Ferrex, angry Ferrex,
Yes.
annoyed snooty Hudson, done Hudson. We just got lots of good expressions here.
There are so many. I can't wait for you to send me this entry.
This is a while, Mars. You got a long time.
Oh, I know.
You have a very long time.
I'll-
This is entry
I'll probably-
31.
Oh, great. I'll see this panel in
30?
October then.
Yeah, something like that. Because I learned that I can line art on stream and talk, but I can't do much else. Because that takes a lot more brain power, I guess. So it works out because it means that I progress the comic in this way as well, just slowly, but
Oh my god, why am I yawning?
because it's tired. Don't act.
What did I do today?
You worried about me flying home because you're my friend, obviously.
Oh, but of course.
Just tired with worry.
Tired with worry. I wrung my hands at the window, paced back and forth. Yeah, that is a furious Ferrex.
We get
use.
lots of angry Ferrex in this one.
Ferrex
Again,
actually
lots of-
gets a lot of characterization in this entry. I think I've talked about this entry extensively at
We
this
like
point.
this entry a lot.
This is honestly, no joke, the Ferrex Hangout is my favorite entry, hands down. Because Ferrex just gets so much characterization here. He really does become more than just the first mate, the kind of second Milano. This is the entry where he really does become his own character. And it was just so much fun to write. I
when does,
really loved this
Let
one.
me look when this is projected to come out.
Next year.
I have to check. I have to see. The naming scheme has like changed 8 times, so I have to like see where it is. Okay, so 5-4. Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
you
next
won't
year.
You won't be 40 PCM unless you're currently 38 right now.
Yeah, 2024 enthuse. Sorry. It's okay. I have a confession, and I think Mars feels this way as well. But tell me if
we'll
you
see.
don't. But I would be surprised if you didn't. I really, really wish that I could post the comic every week. I really, really wish I could. Because I want to get you guys to read the parts that we've known about forever. Okay, like I really want, there's like good shit coming up, and I really want y'all to read it, and I really, really, really want to post it every week, and I have the backlog, so it taunts me, right? It taunts me that it's right there, and I could post it every week, but I know that I would burn through that backlog in like a month, and then it would just be dead, and I would hate myself so much for that. So it's just pain sitting here like, you're right there. God. I could post you.
I half agree with you on that, and I half don't. And I imagine the pain is so much worse for you because you do have the finished product completely there, and it's just constantly taunting you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that disadvantage, so maybe it's easier for me. I totally relate in the sense that I wish everyone could see what we're talking about, and we could really like go in depth with the newer entries and all the like the fun stuff we're alluding to. However, and I think everyone has heard the memes before, but you know why it takes authors a long time to come out with stuff? Inspiration is a fickle thing, and words are hard sometimes. There are occasions where a scene just refuses to start, and you have no idea how to make it start. Eventually, you will figure it out. One, because you kind of have to, and two, eventually these things just kind of fall into place. But could that happen tomorrow? Could that happen next week? Could it happen once some stress is off your shoulders and you've gotten some other things out of the way? Maybe that was part of your block. It is a freaking gamble. So I will come out and say it right now. I will throw myself under the bus. I am very grateful for the backlog that we have. Because when the moments come and inspiration does not, I am immensely grateful for the backlog. But I do wish that we could share the completed entries with all the fun stuff that we're talking about. That part of it does pain me, because I want you all to see it, and I want you all to read it. And like get invested. I mean, we're moving into the fun stuff now. The current entry, they're in the treehouse, they're making a plan. So now that the rest of the crew is here, things are going to get interesting. There's going to be more unique interactions between characters. There's going to be interactions that vary. So like you're gonna have interactions between the 3 crew members. You're gonna have interactions between Houghton and the individual crew members and learn a little bit about them. You got to see Milano interact with Ferrix on like a brotherly level. So there's gonna be a lot of development in that department coming up soon, which is always a very fun time, I think. So I hope you all look forward to it.
And enthuse. I mean, we also have a lot of Ace Attorney to get through as well. So I hope you're sticking around for a long time.
Oh my god, we have so much
Ace Attorney. And I hope that even after Outcast and Ace Attorney are done, that you will continue to stick around. Everybody.
Oh yes. Our Werewolf Spectre mystery supernatural comic.
Okay, my heart.
Release date in 6 years, everybody!
My heart, I was literally thinking about that. It's one of those things where it's always like, Outcast is of course our first comic, right?
Oh,
and tastes change and whatever, and I love the boys no matter what, and I love this comic like a lot. That's not a problem. But it's definitely, there's certain things that are like, next comic, I want to make sure that like this happens, you know, that like this is in it. And the one thing that, because I'm like going way too ham with like the AU outfits and everything, is like, okay, next comic has to be set up in a way where the characters are forced to constantly have outfit changes. I read a webtoon. I'm trying to remember what it is called, but it's all about like fairy tales, and they go through different like fairy tales, and so they get a costume change like every different story that they're in. So it's like I'm just like, ooh, that was a good plan. It's called Forever After. And it's like, ooh, very nice. I like the costume change, sort of like constant, I don't know. I was thinking about that the other day. Yes, we have many AUs. We all love the AUs PCM. That's because we all love our characters, and we don't want, we want to be able to explore them 8 ways to Sunday. And that's the secret.
Right? Because each different situation gives different interactions and different characterizations.
You really, really hardcore ship your characters, but no, they won't get together in the comic. You need AUs.
Oh yeah, big time. That's also part of it. Hi, Oscar. Welcome back.
Hello, Oscar. You are present now.
So is the Among Us.
Speaking of Oscar and all this sort of stuff, I did mention it in the Discord, I think, but someone on the Spanish translation of Outcast said, "Please tell me that this is a BL," and I had to ask Oscar how to say the words, how to say "I ship them" in Spanish, which I never thought I would have to do. But hello, Magapiff, how are you?
Hey, Magapiff.
I'm waking up a little bit, so we're good.
So Laka2 has a question regarding the foreshadowing for Case 4. Have you given thought as to what you think will happen? Do you think the game is foreshadowing anything? I'm trying to.
Well, Edgeworth's coming back, so we're gonna see Edgeworth.
Okay, but that's explicit.
That's gonna happen.
I don't know if that's foreshadowing. That's just kind of happens.
So the foreshadowing with that is, I think something's gonna happen to Franziska, because he's gonna have to be the attorney, right? He's gonna have to be the prosecutor, not her. So something has to happen to her.
I don't think he's going to be the attorney right away. I think I do agree something might happen to her, but I don't think he's going to step in as attorney right away. I think he'd need to be convinced of it first. Because this guy just straight up and left and let his, I'm going to say, best friend think he was dead.
Yeah,
rather than just say, I quit my job.
I'm not ready.
So extra, Edgeworth.
For this reunion.
Oh, the reunion's gonna hurt.
I'm not ready. I'm, of course, editing, Rise from the Ashes, and I'm fawning over Edgeworth so much.
I do think the Magatama is going to be used in more complex ways.
It's going to be used against Edgeworth, and we're going to find out what he was hiding
Maybe we'll
from
find
us
out
and
why he ran off.
To commit suicide. Yeah. Or as I edit out, unalive. Unalive.
So seductive.
I'm so ready in these. Yeah, we were talking briefly about characters acting like they're dead. Near-death experiences are another good one, Magapiff. So far, Mars and I are not in the fully killing character realm of things.
It's
not for me.
Particularly with Outcast, I don't think, as the writer, and obviously with Ori as well, considering her take and preferences as well, I don't hate it when characters die. I think it can be used to great emotional effect. However, given the themes and narrative and development of Outcasts, I don't think it would further those elements if we killed a character. I think it's better that if everyone who deserves comeuppance gets their comeuppance. Like, there's no get out free card.
Get
There's
out
no
of jail free by dying.
There's no redemption by death. There's no get out of jail by death. Like, whoever deserves consequences will get consequences, and whoever needs to be redeemed is going to have to work for it. I just feel like in this particular story, death would not solve anything, and it's not going to further growth in any way. Like, one of the examples with character death, we've all heard the joke, Disney is the killer of parents. Make sure there's no parents in your movie. The mouse doesn't like that. But the reason it's done is because the parent not being around is the inciting incident for the character to start getting that independence, start making those choices. It's a reason for them to go on their adventure or emotional journey. Can you still have that without killing off the parents? Absolutely. Encanto did it brilliantly. Every single parent made it out alive in that movie.
Ah, yes, they did.
But definitely in most Disney movies, like, killing the parent is like kind of the crossing. It's the line that's crossed, because, like, okay, now you need to be independent. Now you gotta step up. Now you're on your own, Bambi. Now you gotta survive in this world. Like, no more crutch. I don't see that being very beneficial to our characters. One, because there are definitely some parents in this story, but there's no need to really go that far. And even if that were incorporated, it would just be sad. There's no development to come from that at all. So, like, why do it?
About the backstories of our characters is that their home life is very integral as to why they're doing what they're doing now, right?
Oh yeah,
and so
you don't just leave your life on land to go live in the sea.
If you just went like, okay, everybody's parents are dead and that's why they like came on, that's not like, there's
that's
not
boring.
Different emotional damage. There's not different things that they're kind of keeping in that we have to unpack later on, because they all have different trauma, right?
Yeah.
That's very important to the story, is the fact that they all have... Hello, Modroids. Thank you for stopping by. I'm definitely tired, but we're doing better.
Ori just got back from a plane. Poor girl has been up for 24 hours straight. But,
yeah, the sort of idea that, like, they all have different sort of, you know, baggage. And I think that's very important. Versus if all their parents died, they'd have relatively the same baggage. And that's not the kind of story we want to tell.
And it's like, when you think about real life, people come from different backgrounds and everyone has a situation unique to them. That was something we wanted to capture with our characters' backstories. Some are, unfortunately, they have disapproving parents. Some have a single parent. Some have a parent that kind of expects them to take on more than they're ready for. I'm trying to be as vague about this as possible. Start your theories if you wish. Which parent is assigned to who? But and then in other cases you have encouraging but kind of absent parents who aren't really noticing the pit their child is falling into. So it's a mixed bag, and I think it makes things more dynamic, more interesting, and more realistic as well.
Exactly. I think that's the big thing. I had a brain thing and then I lost it.
It's funny to talk about realism in a comic featuring anthropomorphic
well, that's never gonna die. That's the style, Mars. If you ever think a comic that we have is not gonna have these hybrid sort of creatures, then you are sorely mistaken. Because I like drawing a very specific
I like
boy.
hybrid creatures.
And
I
this
knew
is
what I
them.
signed up for.
But,
I knew what I signed up for.
Yeah, anchor arms. Oh, that's a good reference from the Dreads. But the Ori version. Oh, okay. Well, you have to give me some patience, Oscar. I just landed today, so
Yeah.
give me
The
a
brain
little bit.
is not quite growing yet.
Yeah, not yet. But
But you're doing pretty well. It's already 11.
Yeah, I was gonna
Oh,
say
no.
something and now I forgot.
I don't.
Oh. Okay, spoilers if you haven't read the comic City of Blanks and intend to read the comic City of Blanks. It is very good, and the main character got an outfit change, and he is smoking as hell. It was so good, but that's besides the point. That's the character. I sent you that image of that one time, and we were like, we need the outfit. But
Ooh.
so spoilers for that. Yeah, exactly, a comic you didn't know about. So there is a character death in that comic, and I think to me this is one of the like character deaths where I'm like, this is actually like really good. Like I could get behind this, right? And I obviously don't say that very often. It wasn't a main character, right? We got like the 3 main characters. We have like the main character, and then we have like the 2 side, main side characters and everything. And none of them died. It was this side character that we had known existed, right? We had known existed. He was out and about. He was doing stuff. We didn't really know what to read on him.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have this very, heart-to-heart moment with the main character and this sort of background character. And it's like, oh, he's on their side, he's like with their cause, but he's going about it a slightly different way. And the main character was feeling very like really liked this guy, this side character, and he was like really ready to like be friends and great stuff. And then he's he's brutally murdered by the main villain of the story, at least what we're painting to be the villain. We're sort of turning a couple things on its head right now in the story, so I don't know where it's exactly going. But the villain kills this side character, and it's very much to make a show of humanity, essentially, and how they feel about all this sort of stuff. And it's really kind of deep, and I'm trying not to get like into the whole lore of the entire story because that would just go too long. The point is that they made me feel enough connection with this character, right, to make his death feel bad, right? Like to make his death be like I'm sad that it was this character, but they moved the plot along with it as well. But it wasn't so upsetting to me that they took away like my favorite character or something, right? That I had to like not watch it for a little bit, because that's what happened with Gurren Lagann.
Well, that's what happened with Kamina.
Yeah, exactly. I loved Kamina so much. I love Kamina. Okay, he was my first Nendroid. I love Kamina so much. One of my favorite characters, and he dies. And I could not watch that show for like a year or more. I was just like, I can't do it. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. And it wasn't because it was a bad way that he died, right? It wasn't because it was like I was upset with the writing. It was just that, like, I'm in it for a character, right? Like, I've invested, and now he's gone.
Bye-bye character.
I would have the same problem if they, like, killed Reagan in Mob Psycho at some point. It's like, I love Reagan.
Oh, I would be pissed if they did that.
But pretend they wrote it really well, and, like, the writing and it furthered the plot and everything like that. Like, you can't be upset at that, because I'm not upset at that for Kamina, right? But he's my favorite character of Gurren Lagann, and they just kill him. And so it's very much
How dare you? How dare you?
I don't know which anime you're saying is your favorite Modroids, but all the ones I've mentioned are good.
Either Mob or Gurren Lagann.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with its
I
Mob.
think it's Mob.
But either are good. I love Reagan very much if it is Mob. Reagan is one of my other Nendroids. Oh, Gurren Lagann? Again, still good one. Still good one. Again, I have Kavita, Gallo, and Reagan as my Nendroids. My prize Nendroid. Oh shit, that reminds me, I have to fucking order Vash.
Oh, you need to order Vash. What are you waiting for, Ori?
I'm not to wake up tomorrow.
I already ordered my Vash.
I know. I'll get my Vash. He's very necessary.
For what we're talking about, guys, Good Smile just came out with a pop-up parade figure of Vash from Trigun Stampede. The Trigun Stampede design, not the 98 design. Yeah. And I sent it to Ori while she was on vacation. I was like, fuck, it's here. And
I'm like, I can't buy it. I'm across the ocean.
I literally woke up at 7 a.m., saw it on my Instagram feed, and I was like, finally! I ran to my computer and just bought it immediately. Yeah. Because I have no freaking self-control when it comes to characters I adore.
Mars,
they gave him such a good pose, too. I'm so happy with the pose they gave him.
I saw this short. It was an Instagram reel actually, and it was like show an anime and then show your like crush from the anime, and I had to do a double take that it wasn't you posting it, because it literally went Trigun Stampede, Vash, and then it went,
oh my god,
Demon Slayer, Inosuke. I was like, is this Mars?
Oh my god, that person's me!
I was like, wait a second here.
So typically if I post about anime on my main, it's reserved for stories. I will never make a full-out anime
just very,
post.
Like this is exactly...
That cringe will be saved for my Mars account, so you all get to be blessed with that. I actually might post something leading up to the fanfiction I'm about to release.
So this is an Nendroid. It is a style of anime figure that is specifically kind of
like
chibi. But the main point of it is the fact that they're modular pieces. So when you get one, you can make all these different poses. See, look, they even gave me him dying. These are definitely on the more expensive side.
How dare they? I've seen them run between $50 to $60.
These are definitely. I think this specific Kamino was $75, but he was like a limited edition. He has like a special stand and everything. And, you know, he has the great dying pose that I obviously never use.
Will never use. Yeah. Forbidden.
But yeah, so the whole point is you can change out, and that's why they're more expensive. You can change out the pieces. Yeah, we did. Versus the pop-up parade thing.
Which are more between like 30 to 40.
Yeah.
I know Vash was about $34.
And this is Vash. Good. Look at him. He's so pretty. I'm so ready. I'm gonna get him.
I love the pose.
It's so good.
It's such a dynamic action pose. I love it. I would have also taken like him smiling and having like that
having a good time,
natural smile. But I will also take badass Vash.
This is good.
Because yes,
it's very good. Fangirl mode activated indeed. We love this boy.
I am at the point where if they release a Wolfwood, I will buy it. If they release another Vash, but he's in his black coat, I will buy it.
Oh, don't get me started. Oh, Jesus Christ.
You know they've been referring to him as Goth Vash.
Oh my, I mean, accurate, but you know. Whew.
I fucking love it.
See, that's why I have to learn how to 3D model, so I can make our boys into models. That's the goal.
God, please.
The Steam library? Yeah, I don't buy very many games. I sort of like grown with figures I have a lot of Funko Pops because they're like inexpensive.
They are cheap, affordable, and they
They're very
elude your fandom.
And they're also like, they're good for like American cartoons as well. Like,
they do a lot of them for American cartoons.
I don't think I would have ever gotten a freaking like Keith and Lance, you know, anything fancier than a Funko Pop, you know? So it's like, you kind of take what you can get.
Because Voltron isn't anime, so it wouldn't be produced by Papa Parade or
right? Like I have Sokka,
something like that.
You know, it's like you need it. But I also have sometimes, every once in a while, they were like, "Hello, Jamie." Every once in a while, like I'm gonna. One of my top favorite anime characters of all time is Natsu Dragoneel from Fairy Tail, and I love him very, very much. And I have nothing. Well, I have a Funko Pop of him, but that's it. And the only reason that I don't have his figure is because the cheaper one looks ugly as shit. Okay, I don't know why. They just didn't do it justice. And
you need to show it off, Ori.
Really,
you gotta show
really
people
nice
what you're talking about.
It's freaking $145. I just can't. And it makes me sad. Yes,
amiibo collecting is interesting. I have heard the horror stories of the shortages, but you know, if you can get your hands on one, they really do make nice figures.
I have amiibos, mostly of Link. That's all my amiibos.
I don't have any amiibos. I never really got into that bit of the Wii U. And didn't really have any games they'd be compatible with. Except maybe Splatoon.
Okay, I found the bad one. I'm trying to find the good one. Again. Because it's not like right there. Is it this one? Is it this one?
How you doing, Jamie? You doing okay?
My brain is slowly dying. Everybody, my apologies. Oh yeah, it's this one. Okay.
It's okay, Ori. We'll just fangirl for the rest of stream. I'm sure that won't annoy people at all.
I mean, they're here. You know, I don't know what I gotta. They came. They're all regulars. They know what they're getting. Okay.
You knew what you
so this
signed
is
up
the
for,
inexpensive
guys.
one. This is like $30 or something like that, and it's okay. But I don't know what's wrong with his face. It's just not. It's just not it. You know.
It's the angle. It really is the angle.
I don't know how to deal. It's just not it. Okay. But then you look at this one. Okay. You look at this. Look at him. He's fucking gorgeous as hell. Like
it really is the angle of the face.
Like it's just so much better.
In the cheaper one, his chin is tucked down into the scarf. He's like looking up at you. It's an awkward pose.
I see
what they were trying to do, but this is much better.
It's freaking $200 and something dollars. Okay, I can't do that. I can't do it. I mean, I can, but I won't. I have principles. Okay, I can't do it.
I have standards, good sir.
I just can't do it. I just can't do
How
it.
dare you insult me?
And it's just like, it hurts me because this is like my OG boy. Yeah, I know, Oscar. This is my OG boy, okay? And it just makes me unfortunate.
Thinking someone may have to tag that and go halvesies for your birthday on that figurine.
I don't think you can even
My
get
computer? Why my computer, Oscar?
Oh no, it is available now. See, it's taunting
I can't write for comic or color it if I sell my computer. Also, I need it for schoolwork, so no.
It's taunting me.
Ori.
I won't do it. I can't do it.
Come on.
I want
Vash is reasonable, but 200
no.
is a
Vash
lot.
Is without a question. Vash is without a question. Wolfwood again, without a question. But it just
Okay,
makes
but
me
Wolfwood
sad.
isn't here yet. We still gotta wait for him.
He's gotta come though. If they don't, like,
Okay.
there's no way.
I want him in the either they have him posing like with his crossgun at the ready, or they have it with him slung over the shoulder holding it with the 2 fingers. I will take either.
I feel like if they
But I
gave
think I want
Vash
him
such a
holding
dynamic
it
pose,
in the ready position
yeah,
so it
they're
can
gonna
pair
have
with
him,
Vash.
Exactly. I feel like, who are these characters? This is the one we're mainly fangirling about.
Oh god, Jamie,
This is
you've
Vash the
unlocked
Stampede
Pandora's box.
from the new. Hello.
Einen Prime Investigations. Hello. We're kind of just fangirling.
Yeah. So
at
this is
the moment.
Trigun
The
Stampede.
foreshadowing talk did happen earlier tonight. We may return to it. I don't know.
We're just having a time.
We're just kind of vibing.
We always vibe. If you have
Happy to have
questions,
you.
though, everybody is welcome
Yes.
to questions at any time during Comic Con.
Again, questions about the comic, questions about the writing process, art process, questions about maybe our favorite shows or favorite characters. We could always go into that too.
Very
Favorite
easily.
trope.
I mean, we're already
You know,
kinda on that.
we'll answer stuff within reason.
But yes.
Oh god, he looks so good.
So this is the current issue right now. But the other one we were talking about is that is my very first anime child.
God,
and
they
how
did that.
expensive he
Justice.
is. Fucking
Yeah. Oh, the pain.
It was foreshadowed last week. That is true.
Yeah, there we go, PCM.
There you go. It was.
It was foreshadowed because Ori did say, well, next week we'll talk about foreshadowing.
Gonna bully Neffy.
How am
Oh,
I going to help you though,
700
Oscar? What did you
nuts.
have in mind?
They want you to sell your freaking laptop.
Oh, I'm not doing that. Also, it doesn't cost the price of a laptop.
Hold on. What is this? Hold
Hold on, what is what? An anime child? Jamie, I have a lot of anime children. Like, I have characters I'm certainly attached to. Vash is just the most recent to take up most of my brain space. Because I just adore him. Wait, what?
I think I found him in the smaller size.
Are you sure? It still looks like he's looking down to me.
Well, the other one is the other outfit though.
Are you sure? Can you do a side by side? That looks that looks like the
okay.
cheap version.
Oh, it is they're slightly different. Ugh, it's so sad.
Like the face is still angled downward.
It's still
It's
down.
not
It's
bad,
better
though.
than the other one
Not
though.
bad.
It's
Okay,
better
so
than
that's the
other one.
good figure.
This is the amazing one on the right.
Where's the crap one?
Okay, I need another tab. Jesus, you're asking so much of me.
Also, damn. You pay more money, you get more ab definition.
Oh yeah. Well, he's a larger size. Is the one that's expensive is XL. This is the worst one. So definitely better than that one. I might do it.
That's the worst one.
This is
Oh,
the worst
yeah,
one.
that is different. The arms are different. Also, he's wearing black instead of blue.
Well, this is so the left one is his like original main outfit. This is his like reformed outfit later on.
Oh, and the other is like the
in the
time
right
skip
one?
pose.
Yeah.
Ah. So now you have a choice. Do you want OG or time skip?
Well, I mean, I really want the freaking $227 one. You know, I mean, look at him. But we'll see. I will get Vash, of course. But we'll sleep on this. Does it mean summer?
It does mean summer.
Yes.
Got
He's the
Haru
fire
Natsu.
dude. I have many
Akifuyu.
anime children. Because they're not anime boyfriends, right? Like that's where the line is
Yeah,
different.
there are no
I don't want to
husbandos.
date them. I want them to
don't
be
wanna date
happy
them.
and fed.
I just want them to be happy. I want to give them a hug and tell them it's going to be okay. The
Pat
plot
them-
can't
pat
hurt
them on
you
the head
anymore.
and just be like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, Jamie. I know.
Yeah,
But I
this is
can't-
why we're like our boys, because we don't want to date them. We don't want to marry them. We just want the
I wanna
plot
see
to
them
stop
happy.
hurting them.
Yeah, so they're all my children, right? Like all the Outcast boys.
Oh, children. Especially because they were created by you, so.
Yes. Silence voice.
Oh, a silent voice.
Oh, okay. I know
The guy
now.
with the piano. Okay, that's your lion, April. I'm not familiar with Nana. But Clanad I definitely heard makes people cry.
Yeah.
I have not watched any of those. I'm considering watching a silent voice just because
Okay.
I am curious. I don't really care to watch your lion, April, just because I know it'll break me and I don't want to cry. And Clanad, okay, it seems like it's good, but man, the character design.
So
It's
Lakitu.
definitely early 2000s.
Lakitu, I have an unfortunate sort of conundrum for your solution. And that is Dylan has a 3D printer that I have gotten him many things for because I exactly think how you think. And I talked with him specifically about this issue because I have had this Natsu issue for years. Okay?
The Natsu dilemma,
The
if
Natsu
you will.
issue I have had for years. Okay? So Dylan literally did that. Dylan was like, I'm gonna go look at, like, you know, the 3D models and everything to see if you can print one. They're all the bad one. They're all sad. They're all not good Natsu. They're all very, very disappointing. And so the other option is I have to learn how to 3D model. And while that is on the docket for eventually, it's right up there with making a VTuber model anyway, and something else that I've already forgotten. Yes. No. I definitely have nostalgia.
Uh-oh,
for Natsu.
Jamie.
No. I there's no doubt that I have nostalgia for Fairy Tail in general.
You got the rose-colored glasses?
Yeah, it was my first anime, man. You know, of course I'm gonna have, like, you know, nostalgia for it. And also, I am a hardcore just simp for frickin' any power friendship shit. And that is what Natsu is. Like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
Big time.
you got Naruto and you got Natsu. And they're like, you know,
Naruto and Natsu would be best friends.
big power friendship boys. And so, you know, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, coming for my soul. Well, Dylan, it's okay. Dylan came for my soul many years ago when I tried to show him Fairy Tail and he said it was horrible. So, you know.
Sora no Otoshimono. I've never heard of that one, Oscar. What's it about?
Coming for my soul. So sad.
It's okay, Ori. I've had people tell me my favorites are trash as well.
Well, that's why you and I are friends, because we know what trash we like together.
Exactly. There's also just one of these things where it's like when you start getting into the weirder stuff, you start limiting your pool of who you can show it to. Because, like, okay, who's not gonna judge me if I try to show them this?
I think Mars had like a very happy moment when she showed me Sarazamai, which is a very
I was
interesting
very happy.
anime. But I do enjoy it, and I think that moment when she was like, "Wait, Ori is good with this. Ori likes this. Ori's enjoying this. Oh, okay." A whole new realm of possibilities.
I think that one was successful because the emotional payoffs and everything, like, it's a weird ass story. It's a weird ass premise with weird ass characters and even weirder ways of solving the problems. It definitely, I wouldn't say it reminds me specifically of Persona, but it does kind of have that vibe where it's like you transform, you go into another world to fight the evil thing, and then you come out and resume your human life on the other end, and the emotions you face in the real world are tied to the emotions you're facing in the fighting world. So that's what drew me to Sarazamai originally. And it does take maybe like 2-3 episodes before that kind of sets in. And it definitely doesn't lose the weirdness as it goes through. But they still, it was just so fascinating to me because they work in like real, like relatable emotions someone might be feeling in this weird ass plot. And I don't know, it just really earned my respect for doing that, because it was like, man, if you didn't stick with this show, like if it turned you off for being too weird, you would miss out on all these emotional payoffs, all this character development, all this like trauma and angst going on, which I was not ready for because it seems so goofy in the first episode.
Oh, it's very goofy.
So it was definitely, it was a dark horse, it was a black sheep, whatever you want to call it. It was definitely
but
still one of my favorites.
Jamie,
Yes,
and everybody in chat who has been here needs to know, Mars loves Persona.
Persona 4 is my favorite game of all time, guys. I freaking love it. I have never played a Shin Megami Tensei game, surprisingly. But Persona definitely has my heart and soul. Not to get too personal, I did discover it in middle school when I was going through a rough time, and it just spoke to me in a way that nothing else currently was at the time, because it was this whole, like, you're solving your problems in the fantasy world, but they also relate to your real world. And surprisingly, those issues the characters were facing were very freaking relatable problems, like fitting in, being scared that your best friend is going to move on without you, worrying that you're being too dependent on others, worrying that you can't be yourself. Really freaking relatable stuff in this video game. I fell in love instantly. I'm trying to remember how I discovered it.
I'm gonna change the topic because you're talking about. Go on.
The way I discovered it, I actually used to watch a lot of animated music videos back in the day, and one of the videos was using clips from the Persona 4 anime. And I was thinking, oh, these visuals are really cool. Maybe I'll watch the anime. I never got around to watching the anime, but through learning about the anime, I found out that it was a video game series. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll watch a Let's Play of the video game first, and then I'll watch the anime. Still haven't watched the anime, but I've watched the video playthrough at least 18 times at this point. It's been many years, though, so there was time to.
I'm very ready to watch the Ace Attorney anime. I'm so ready. But no, what I was gonna change the subject is I was just remembering. I'm pretty sure the first anime we ever watched together, Mars, was Servant.
It was. That was when you came to visit me at college.
Exactly. That was the first anime we watched together.
Yes. Oh, that one was so good too.
Can't find them.
It's definitely more palatable. Yeah, Servamp is interesting. Basically
we
what
like
ends up happening
vampires
in that
in this
show,
house. Okay.
We liked vampires back then, and we still like vampires. It's a very good premise. Basically, these vampires, it's definitely, I don't want to say servant master vibe, not in that way. It's more so that they're stronger when they team up. So that's what they do. But Servamp is a combination of servant and vampire, but not in that sense. Although the shipping is very much there.
Oh, the shipping is, of course, there. Jamie, are you trying to watch which Persona anime are you trying to watch, and are you trying to watch them specifically in subbed or dubbed? Because I know of some of them on the website where Mars and I watch all of our anime, and where I have watched all of my anime since the beginning of anime, my time as anime.
That site was very good to us until we got to the sub of Suratama. I'm very surprised it did not have the sub.
Yeah, I don't know why. Just the dub. Well, it only
That
has
is
the dub
so
of
bizarre.
Trimax, so but that's what we're watching, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so that works out.
Yeah,
No complaints there.
it works out. And then we get to watch the dub of Tri-Stamp because
God,
we're
I'm so
gonna kill
fucking
ourselves 8
ready.
times in a row.
I'm so fucking ready. I want to hear Vash in the dub. I want to hear Wolfwood in the dub. I freaking need it.
Here, Jamie, you can find both of those here. Enjoy. This is my anime site of choice. This is my everything site of choice, if we're being honest, if it's animated. Live action, yeah, I don't know where to watch that sort of shit. But
Yeah,
animated
I'm still
stuff.
trying to find something for that. Because there are so many live action shows I do want to see, but one, I either don't have the time, or two, I just can't find them anywhere. And I don't want to subscribe to anything.
See, that's when you go to the library and you look for the DVDs.
Yeah, but see, everything's in Netflix jail, so no DVDs. It's very sad.
Trying to watch some new stuff then. Ferrix, let your eyes work, please.
It's not a virus, Jamie. I have used the site myself. It's very good.
Yeah, Mars and I watch anime every Tuesday on this site. I also watched all of Adventure Time on this site. I watched all of Fairy Tail on this site. I watched Naruto on this site.
We watched the Owl House finale on that site.
On this site.
Worked out very well.
I've watched Rick and Morty on this site. It's a good site.
It gets the job done. I used to use 9 Anime, but I gotta be honest, I like how Wako does the subs better. Because I did notice, particularly with Tri-Stamp, that there was a difference in the translations, depending on what you watch. Yeah, you could end up with 3 different variations of Vash's line to Wolfwood. You could either get just look at his eyes if you're watching the 9 Anime version. You could get I can see it in his eyes if you're watching the sub version on Wako. Or you could get those are the eyes of a good man if you're watching the English dub. Very weird.
Very weird indeed. It's all that interpretation.
It's still a super sweet scene, so I don't particularly mind.
Honestly,
I'm just very baffled that there's so many different interpretations.
With that one, it's like I barely care about the words, and it's all about the facial expression.
It's literally just Vash giving Wolfwood the softest freaking
and
look
Wolfwood being like, "Wait a second, hold on."
And Wolfwood literally goes wide-eyed and is like, "Oh shit, gay panic."
Was not expected. I was not ready.
No, okay. I figured out what's so great about Vashwood. You know what it is? Wolfwood is the classic. Crap, I fell in love with my target.
Yeah.
I wasn't supposed to get attached to my target. I not only got attached, I fell in love with him. Shit.
Oops. Yeah.
Oopsies.
Oopsie.
And his brother is the head of an evil organization. That's also an issue.
Well, yes.
We've definitely dabbled in dubs before, Jamie. I did find myself originally, and this was before I started watching with Ori, but I always gravitated towards subs because aside from the FMA Brotherhood dub, I never really found one that was good, and I always felt that the Japanese VAs just always gave so much more emotion. They always sounded like they cared more. Like anytime I heard an English dub, I was like, I can see you in the recording studio. I don't hear a character, I hear a guy recording lines. I will say I've definitely opened up to dubs a lot more. It's made a lot easier. Well, Ori High School Host Club was very good, but that was because Edward Elric's voice actor was playing Tamaki. So,
yes, but also Kyoya's
no complaints
great,
there.
And
Haruhi,
Haruhi was
brilliant.
fantastic.
I've definitely opened up to dubs a lot more, especially with the newer dubs coming out, because, you know, now it is a big industry that, you know, corporate people care about, so they will hire voice actors who do give a shit. So it makes the dub a lot more palatable.
I believe we've talked about Ben Diskin before, Jamie, with you.
I think so, yeah.
Correctly.
I know Johnny on Josh voices Bash, and I'm like, I'm so fucking ready.
I've done a mix of both. Fairy Tail, I watched subbed, so that was my first anime, and I struggled originally because I was bad at reading. So I like watching Fairy Tail sub is what allowed me to be good at reading subtitles in general. The reason I chose to watch Fairy Tail subbed was because at the time all dubbed anime came out like a year or more later, so in order to watch you know, the episode, you sort of had to like either wait a really long time for the dub or you know, switch over to the sub. So I was like, I don't want to switch over, I just want to keep the same voices the whole time. And thank God I hate the Fairy Tail dub. It's I hate how Natsu sounds, I hate how Happy sounds, I hate how they sound. I can't do it. I can't do it at all. Dylan actually used to be the opposite to you, Mars, and used to think that the dubbed version was better because he thought that he could understand the emotion when spoken in English better than he could when spoken in Japanese. What changed his mind? JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, and he fucking loves those shows. He loves the first three real hard. He loves Joseph. I'm up there with loving Joseph.
Joseph is the best JoJo, hands down.
Best JoJo.
I will not be taking any argument.
He watched that. I don't remember why he watched that subbed, but he watched that subbed, and he went,
I've
changed.
To guess the memes were subbed.
Maybe.
But that's the push.
He was sort of like, wow, no, I was wrong. You can still tell the emotion when watching the sub. And yeah, Oscar, I couldn't read fast enough, process it, and understand what was going on all at the same time at the speed needed. So it was like a practice sort of thing.
Definitely training.
Exactly. Joseph, top tier. But, so that was sort of that. And then we sort of mix what we watched. So I definitely watched Ori and Ice in sub, but the big one I remember is we watched One Punch Man dubbed for season 1, and I honestly prefer the voices for the dub. However, we watched season 2 subbed because again it was like you had to wait a year for it to come out subbed, versus now they were like 1 week behind with freaking Trigun Stampede, and it was like, this is nuts, but okay.
Like, holy shit, it's already here.
Yeah, so that was insane. That is very true, Shadow Freak. It really does matter, the dubs, and even with the age, because like we said before, Ouran High School Host Club is an older show, but it has a great dub. One of my favorites. So that was that.
You also had a very good dub as well.
And then the same thing happened with Mob Psycho. I know I watched the first season dubbed because I watched it with Dylan, and this was like in that time before he had his JoJo revelation about sub. And then we had to watch season 2 subbed, and then of course we watched season 3 subbed because that's what comes out, first. And Mars likes the sub.
I do still have my preferences for sub. I won't deny that. But if Ori says like, let's watch this in the dub, I'm not going to be like, no, I refuse.
Yeah, we watch Food Wars in
Oh, the Food Wars dub is great.
It is great. And it has Sayu. So like, it worked out in the end.
amazing. Chainsaw Man was definitely interesting, Jamie. I think it's worth the watch, definitely. But I will say, don't let the hype set up your expectations. I'll say that much. Still a very good watch. Still worth it for the animation. The characters are very fun. But season 1 definitely feels like a prologue.
And that's an interesting thing you say, Laka, too, about watching American shows with the Japanese dub. Is all that made me think about was when Miraculous Ladybug first came out, right? It's a French show. So when I was first trying really hard to watch that show when it was like very, very new, I was watching it in French with the English dub. And so that was like a very interesting experience, because before then, like, I had only been listening to Japanese, right? Like, I'm not watching any other shows. And so that was like an interesting experience. It's like, okay, I actually know French more than Japanese. Neither of them good, but like, it's closer with French. So there's like a little more understanding sort of going on back there, and it's kind of weird. That was interesting.
Oh no, classic anime dumb guy voice for Sokka.
Oof.
Oof. That is rough, buddy.
Nice.
Oh, come on, I had to.
You did have to.
It was in my contract.
It is. I'm glad you fulfilled. I don't pay you nothing to make you not quote references like that.
You pay me in artwork, and I pay you in fanfiction.
This is very true.
This is our exchange. Actually, for the last couple weeks, I've finally been able to give back to Ori a little bit. I've actually been sending her snippets of the fanfictions I've been working on. And recently we got Bar AU.
Yes, which is very good. But that's something I wanted to ask everybody, including you, Mars, about comic-related stuff. And that's the idea. I was thinking about, because we have all these AUs and all these outfits I want to put everybody in at any given time, and it's so hard to choose, and it's, you know, something. I was thinking that we would have like a community vote every couple of months. And
hell yeah!
The theme was, and then I would probably do, of course, Patreon doodles, definitely a free doodle, and that sort of stuff. You love the way Ferric stands in doorways. Yes, he's a very, very specific kind of man, and his whole personality is how he stands in doorways. Okay. You look at how this boy stands in doorways, and you know everything about him. Okay, it's all right there. It's all plain for you to see.
I am totally down for that idea. That sounds super fun.
Yeah, because then we can get some Band-Aid stuff. No, you weren't confused. I used to stand in doorways like that, Jamie, when I was a youngin'. No, I have... Because that's like the step before trying to hold yourself up in a doorway with your feet. That's like the next step in that sort of
in the hierarchy of doors
of existing in doorways, yeah. But I think it's the next one of the episodes coming up, Jamie, I think you're gonna love, is very Ferrix being a bendy man and not sitting properly in chairs. And I love to talk about this because they're very difficult poses, right? And posing the 3D model in poses like that is not easier. I gotta say, it is not particularly simplified to do it that way. So, of course, instead, I had Dylan do it. And so I have images on my phone still that no one will ever see besides me. But just know that if Ferrex is drawn very accurately in a very interesting pose, Dylan probably made that did that pose for me in real life.
You gotta have your references.
Dylan is a very Ferrex man. Oh, you just tried it out, Jamie? Very nice. No, I think Dylan would be sad. Because he looks very funny.
No, we will save Dylan the embarrassment. We're not gonna do that to him.
I need to keep certain things secret so that he'll continue to pose in weird poses for me. You know, it's a give and take, right? I don't show off the funky, poses, and he continues to pose for me.
Yes. You establish trust.
I have a very I'm gonna expose. It's not really exposing. I have like an old silver coat, and I don't remember what happened or why, but essentially in the end, we were in my basement, Dylan and I got him to put on the coat, and then he was just goofing around, and he was like posing on top of one of those big yoga exercise balls, and I have like two of my favorite photos of him not being goofy. Like, he looks really good. It's just really funny, like, scenario. And he looks really good, but he does not like I like those pictures so much. He just doesn't understand, and I just, they're just good. You posed well. No, I could show Mars because she has seen Dylan in real life, but no, I can't show anybody else. That's the only reason why I'm not showing, like, him as invincible, because I'd really want to, but, like, I can't, It's sad.
This is an interesting question for Lakitu. Which villain has been given the best foreshadowing so far, and which has been given the worst?
Von Karma. Hands down, best villain so far in every aspect. Okay, there's nothing I have a problem with how Manfred von Karma was treated.
You have to remember the terms of the question. We're not talking best villain overall.
No.
We're talking best foreshadowing.
Again, so it involves that. Okay. It's Von Karma.
Just
Manfred von Karma. I'm saying he checks every box. So you ask anything, best villain, blank, it's Von Karma right now. Okay? Which has been given the worst foreshadowing?
Well, remember, villain technically can also include who is on the witness stand.
No, I know. I'm trying to figure out which one, like, came out of left field the most.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember which one where we were like, wait, what?
Because to me, I find a lot of them.
Had a moment like that.
The reason I like Manfred von Karma so much is because he was the least, like, hitting you over the head with. He was the killer, right? Well, it all, like, added up in the end, but it was like we put the pieces together and it was, like, really good. Like, that's why I like it, and that's why I say
definitely torn between Von Karma and Gant, because they have a lot in common where they're both there from the beginning. They both have this connection to the people who are standing trial. They're both trying to cover up from
that is true.
Past crimes. Like, there's a lot of crossover between the two. I think just where it personally falls apart from us is the breakdown. Like, Von Karma's breakdown was so much more satisfying, but that has nothing to do with foreshadowing.
Okay. So that's so the reason that I like Von Karma more than Gant is because just the way they made Gant act the whole time made it immediately he was going to be the killer. Right? Like, we didn't even need to know why, how, who, what, when, where. Like, it didn't matter. It was like, you and I were like, this guy's gonna be the killer.
Just like, you are sus.
Versus Von Karma, well, I didn't like him, like, I wanted to hate him. Like, I hated him, right? As, like his character, you know, because you're supposed to. I never, until the end, considered he was the one who, like, killed him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
killing.
Exactly. Like, he was like sneaky, he was slimy, he was gonna do whatever, you know, he's gonna do whatever to get his guilty verdict and keep his record, but I didn't think he would kill someone or, you know, help someone kill someone and frame Edgeworth. Like, I didn't expect that, but when you put all the pieces together, like, it does add up. So Von Karma, definitely best foreshadowing. I think...
Well, if we're talking for foreshadowing that's too obvious, Gant can definitely fall into that case, though it's definitely hard to tell, because
I think it could be less his foreshadowing.
Too obvious, but it could also be we're just very practiced at this point, and we're anticipating. Well, that's what I'm thinking.
I'm thinking that the reason the Von Karma one works so well is because up until that point, it was sort of
we
like
hadn't had that happen
different
before.
Right, yeah, and then Gant was just trying to be Von Karma but not as good.
Trying to redo Von Karma, exactly.
So it was kind of like, we kind of expected it. I would say Einy Meiny was the worst foreshadowing level, in the sense of that we kind of knew it was her the whole time. Right, like it was very much, and Dylan, and I think you too, Mars, very quickly were like, it's also Morgan, right? But I think it was,
well, she was just acting so antagonistic towards you. It's like, okay, I get that she has a thing for Phoenix, like not respecting Maya's name or title, but then she's also dropping like hints here and there, and now we have Pearl confirming things, and it's just like, yeah, no, she's hiding something. She's definitely hiding something.
Yeah.
I am tempted to say, in the case of too obvious foreshadowing, I kind of want to say Frank saw it.
But then you go into also red-white territory, because what you're gonna say is you know it was him from the beginning.
Well, you could tell from the design. You're like, this is the squirmy asshole I'm trying to get convicted.
Right away that it's red-white too, you know? So yeah. I feel like the point of those cases were never foreshadowing, so I wouldn't count it.
They were also early cases as well, meant to ease you into the playstyle.
So I wasn't really counting those as foreshadowing at all, in my opinion, just because they never really were trying to have you be a thing. Outside of Goodbyes, Manfred is sweet with Miles and Francisca. I'll take that with a grain of salt right now, Shadow Freak. I don't have any. I feel really bad for Miles. Francisca, maybe. I don't know. I feel really bad for Miles. I can't.
Francisca, but
that man is not painted as a caring man outside of the courtroom either. I don't know. But, you know, maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll see.
Man, but not the scream of an I feel guilty man.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say, I like the idea that he was kind to Miles. And then, like, as he grew older, it was like it was too much of his father in him, and that kind of clouded his vision. I like the tragedy behind that.
I just can't.
It's just
the problem.
Portrayal, it's just not. See, if that was the plan, that was not foreshadowed.
Well, that's my problem with it.
Throughout all those interactions, I never got the impression that Manfred ever cared about Miles.
Yeah.
Now, logically, do I have to know that Manfred has to be at least amicable towards him in order for Miles to do what he needs him to do? Yes, but being like, let's say, doting dad number 2, adoptive dad. I don't see it. That was not alluded to. It is very hard to envision.
My reasoning is there is a very big difference in what he did to Gregory and what he did to Miles, in the sense of Gregory's murder was incredibly spur of the moment, right? The way it's painted is that Manfred von Karma is not down there in the archives plotting how to kill Gregory Edgeworth. Manfred is just down there being upset. And then, literally, it was an act of God, it was destiny, it's said in the whole thing, right? The stars aligned, and he was given this opportunity, and he took it, right? Compared to if he, you know, if they were trying to paint, you know, what they say in the thing, but if they were right now trying to paint the fact that he was sweet with Miles, and then later on was like, oh god, I'm having Gregory war flashback sort of thing, he put in way too much thought into the whole Miles scheme.
That was completely planned out. Miles was going to be put to death.
Yeah. You know, it was a
like, he wasn't going to jail. He was going to death.
Sort of, you know, tracking this guy down, getting him to manipulate him to write out that entire, like, the scheme is nuts, right? Like the whole sort of scheme that he did is just so conniving and calculated that I cannot currently, with our information, fathom him, like, not disliking Miles for the majority of his life. You know, like it's just too much.
I can't imagine that the animosity wasn't building.
Yeah.
For a very long time.
It's just too much of, like
that is not a spur of the moment thing.
Yeah, exactly. Bought potatoes with chorizo? You're making me hungry, Oscar. Oh, but it's midnight, and I should go to bed.
Now.
So.
Oh yes, let's let Ori
sleep. That's a good way to end it off. I stayed up later than I meant to, but that's okay. I was having fun, and I have no timed things tomorrow in the morning.
You did sound like you perked up.
That is true. Yes, and I did. Yes. Good luck, PCM.
Best of luck, PCM.
Yeah, I can see that, Jamie. But, alright, thank you everybody for hanging out. We will be back on our regular stream schedule, essentially.
Yes! So excited.
This week. So we will be starting the 4th turnabout in Justice for All on Tuesdays, the next time we'll see everybody. If you haven't read the newest update of the comic from last Monday, you should.
It's good.
I would love you forever if you read the comic and subscribe, because it means a lot. It really, really, really does.
We will literally be the happiest people on the planet if you do.
Exactly. And I'm going to close out some tabs so I don't spend more money than I should. And,
yeah, please.
And with that, good night, everybody. I'll be on Discord and everything now a lot more.
Yes.
Yes,
join,
we definitely have further days to talk about Manfred and Shadow Freak. If what you're saying is true, I'll learn about it because I plan to watch the anime once we get through, you know, these first 2 games. I plan to watch the first anime. We're gonna be playing all the games, so if it comes up later in the games, you know, we'll get there.
We will find
all our information is currently as of where we are in stream on the games. Okay, none of us have any further knowledge than that. So, yeah, thank you all for hanging out and coming to this, you know, return stream, I guess.
The triumphant return.
Exactly. We will see you all on Tuesday, hopefully. Good night, everyone.
See you then, guys. Take care.